I'm
Hello.
trying to chew and swallow. I'm doing everything I can. I'm sorry. It's just
If
it's in my mouth.
if that's what she said. Yeah. If only we had flesh cam for this. I feel like that would have been funnier.
It's I've never left a Chinese dish like this as full of the food in it when I'm done as I am right now, but I just literally ate the last couple meat chunks and nothing else in there is appealing. And normally, I love stir-fried vegetables and rice and
Yep.
everything that's in here,
It's
but
hard. It's hard to screw that up.
they did. The onions are still raw in a lot of places.
Ooh.
Um, the red peppers look like mush. I think that they were just frozen red peppers that they just tossed in a pan and that's it. Um, and the rice itself is white rice, but incredibly dry. Like the rice that you would use to make fried rice and would be really good for that, but it's just there on its own. So it's sad. I'm not eating any more of this. This makes me genuinely upset to know exists.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm
I
sorry that
didn't
your
know
food
what
sucks.
I didn't know what the place was, and now I do, and it's just bad.
Mine too.
Yours too. Are you listening?
No, my food sucks.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. No, she's not listening. She just heard me say, "I'm sorry, your food sucks," and it took her a minute to say mine too,
Oh,
because she is. I think I've mentioned this a couple times, but she's just been diagnosed as diabetic,
oh,
and so she's just had a major diet shift, and she also, probably due to some neurospiciness, has an extreme aversion to basically all the vegetables.
mm,
So her food is constricted to the less sugary fruits and meat. That's
um,
basically it.
does she like Nutella?
Um, are you about to tell me that Nutella is good for people with diabetes when the first ingredient is sugar?
No, I'm going to tell you that there is a company called Chalk Zero that makes a sugar-free Nutella that is absolutely delicious. And it is exactly what I use when I'm getting sugar cravings because I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic 10 years ago. So I know what this diet shift looks like. I did it a decade ago.
Yeah, so John73 John, that's in my YouTube chat. So there it is. Says, as a neurospicy myself, I can confirm vegetables aren't food. Vegetables are what food eats. Um, Now that said, I actually we just acquired a Venus flytrap. So in that case, with the definition of vegetable being the flower, the leaf of the plant, or whatever, that this vegetable literally eats the food. If we
Yup.
consider like cricket flour to be foods.
Um, but yeah, no, the I Chalk Zero makes marshmallows that are really good.
I'm
Uh,
assuming this is like CHOC zero,
yeah,
not like
CHOZ or
CH
CHOC.
CHOC, because like you're saying that I'm hearing like CHALK, and I'm like, yep, chalk flavor tracks with like sugar replacement things.
No,
Like that's
I'll not like.
that's an unfortunate name for a company that is doing something that notoriously is rather chalk flavored.
Yeah, no, this stuff is one of the or their products in general are some of the few things I've had that are like as close to a one-to-one with the originals because they try not to use like so they stay away from stevia is one of the big things because stevia tastes like ass garbage. I will die on the hill that stevia does not taste like sweet, it just tastes like horrid.
I think stevia is the one that she likes actually.
That is
What's the other one?
unfortunate.
What's your sweetener that you like?
Stevia.
It is stevia.
Sucralose?
She likes stevia.
I cannot. It
Well,
makes
then
me
she's
want to
probably
die.
gonna hate your chalk zero crap
You know what? I'm sending you an Amazon link anyway. Give it
Okay.
a shot. Tell me how the fuck it goes.
if it's available in Canada.
I will hope it is.
Yeah, well, if it's not, then I'm going to be even more concerned for your health because usually when there's a food item that's available in the States but not in Canada, it's because it's loaded up with crap that Health Canada just will not allow in food in Canada because it's so unhealthy.
Understandable. Also, if because diabetes stuff does mean that you have to increase your fiber intake, every serving of this stuff is 57% of your daily fiber. It's super high in fiber.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty.
It's tasty.
I'm glad you think so.
Give it a shot yourself.
I will stick with my Nutella and potato chips.
Give it a try.
Not necessarily at the
yourself.
same time, but depending on the flavor of chips,
Necessarily
that
at the
could be
same
good.
time.
Yeah, no, depending on the flavor of chip, that could absolutely be good. Okay. Starting off.
So what are we not covering?
What are we not covering? Alito's flag thing. I think I covered that by myself last week. It's escalating since then. He's now been caught with a Christian nationalist flag at his vacation home. So, like, not surprising to anyone that's been following Supreme Court stuff for years now, but it's just one of those, like, it's impossible to like. This is like the people that will say, "Oh no, Trump's not a racist because he never like said I hate N-words."
Meanwhile, everything,
but like everything he's done has indicated that he is in fact racist. So it's like even the people that would have that with like, "Oh no, our judge isn't a Christian nationalist." It's kind of hard to ignore it when he's flying a literal Christian nationalist flag. Like they're trying to say like, oh, this flag has a history going back to blah 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, okay, but who's using it today? It doesn't matter. Like, forget that. Let's pretend, yeah, sure, it does have a history that makes it mean something different in the past. Who's the group using the flag today? Christian nationalists. What was Sam Alito flying? The same flag as the Christian nationalists.
Yep.
It's a Christian nationalist flag at this point. Doesn't matter what it historically meant. And the same thing, like, and you could make that same argument with the Confederate flag. Oh yeah, no, maybe they, like historically it did represent a bunch of rebels or like insurrectionists who were fighting to preserve the institution of slavery. But today it just represents states' rights. And like, if that's actually
states' rights to what though?
I know. But like, in the modern age, it would be abortion or whatever. But like, if they were actually consistent with that, that might be semi-valid. But they're not. They still see the Confederacy as like itself a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah, no. If you actually divorced it from its previous meaning, symbols can change meaning, but they haven't.
Yep.
So it didn't. So there's that. I'm also not going to go over the Trump trial thing. Jury's set to begin deliberation now. It's kind of funny. The right wing is freaking out, and the latest freak out is nobody can even say what he's charged with. It's like, it's 34 felony counts, and they're all the same charge. It's called falsifying business records in the first degree. It's 34 charges of that. So
everybody can say what he's charged
everybody can say
with.
that. Yeah, and you can even go, like, when I Googled it so I could get the technical name of it, because I'm like, it's fraud, it's falsifying business records. Those are the things I know. Like, it amounts to fraud, and it's officially falsifying business records, where I'm like, okay, I want to get the actual legal jargon down. It's like, it's falsifying business records in the first degree is what it is. And when I Googled it to make sure I had it right, Yahoo has, like, there was a Yahoo article that just had a whole list of all 34 counts, and every single one is falsifying business records in the first degree. And then there's a little paragraph explaining why this one is a separate charge. So, yeah. That's what the charges are. People are saying, like, oh, nobody can even say what the charges are. No, this is what the charges are. And if you want more details on each one of the 34 counts, go to the Yahoo article. It lists them out quite succinctly.
So is the other thing we're not covering Nick Fuentes being caught broadcasting porn?
I not covered that last week. I
not covered that last week?
I know. I was so mad that you weren't with me for that one.
I wish I was there because it was one of the videos. So it was one of the videos that I pulled stuff for that I wanted to cover myself, but then I was sick and I couldn't cover anything because what I wanted to do is I wanted to go through all of the times that he's been caught with this shit. Because this isn't the first time.
No, this is not the first time. This is the most egregious and obvious time, but there have been other times when it's like he just had a tab open that was very clearly gay porn.
Yeah, the tab one was he got somebody caught him watching. They had like a single frame and they reverse image searched that frame to figure out it was trans porn. And then before that, there was him going on a date with the Nazi cat boy, which everybody knows about at this point. So like this is. I wanted to go through and just be and title the episode something bombastic like the straightest straight man to ever not gaily choke on cock. Like
that would be amazing.
Something like that.
So Fennec says that man just needs to admit that he is a homosexual and he will feel so much better. Counterpoint, Fennec. I would like him to not feel good. So if he feels bad about this, I am happy that Nick Fuentes feels bad because he is a bad person who should feel bad.
Counterpoint. He actually feels better by denigrating people who are gay because one of the I am convinced to this day that half of this is that every single one of these assholes has a fucking shame fetish.
Yeah,
and by piloting or by parroting so hard,
it
by
could
doing
be because
everything
yeah,
they
you
can.
know what? That actually kind of tracks because like I'm a professional streamer. And we've all seen how much difficulty I have with technical bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I have never once accidentally displayed information on my screen that I would not want, or that I would be uncomfortable with the general public finding out about. It's not hard to do. You just don't have those things open and you double check that your stream is ended before you open them.
And you don't try to save an image live on stream while everybody's watching so they can see your image folder.
Yeah, like it is so easy to avoid getting caught with that sort of shit. So the fact that he is getting caught, yeah, that very strongly supports the humiliation fetish thing.
He desperately needs this to be a humiliating experience because
Duct Tape
otherwise...
Jake says just don't have it open when streaming. Yeah. That's generally how I handle it. If there is a website that I know has sensitive information that I don't want the general public to see, I just don't even have that website open while I am streaming.
Yeah, like
look, no good can come of that.
I have had the experience of my partner catching me while I'm watching porn, and luckily for me, that experience went, "Oh, what are you watching?" That's about what it was. Like, but for people like Fuentes, if that happened, it would take away all the magic. I guarantee you, it would take away all the magic from whatever the fuck they're into.
Dark Excalibur says, I think if we saw Rhino's Pornhub search history, he would own it and be zero shame. So this is... I actually am a little bit ashamed about it because I don't actually search for anything specific. I just do it like homepage... This is what they're showing.
Oh, do you just look at the homepage and go off with that?
Yeah, okay, so I have created an account and I log in so that it remembers the ones that I click on, so it's more likely to show me stuff that I will enjoy.
Oh my god.
And I try very much to avoid the step sibling porn
that
because
always eats its way onto the page.
I fucking hate that. Like, I get it. They're appealing to the people with the incest kink, but they put the step in there so it doesn't turn off the people that don't have the incest kink too much. But I'm still just sick of it. Why does everything have to be step this and step that?
Help me, Step Rhino, I'm stuck.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of memes, do you want to see what your replacement was last week?
Sure.
This was your replacement.
Oh, I was just cats.
Yeah, all your Surus are belong to Rhino.
So one of my mods actually stated that the sub versus dub conversation was won long ago, and it was won by Zero Wing.
I don't know what that means.
Zero Wing is the game that Cats is in, and it's a Japanese game. Which
I don't know what sub versus dub conversation is.
God fucking damn it! Okay,
I know what a sub is.
Okay, so.
Oh,
you're meaning
wait,
a kinky
no,
sub.
Yes, okay, no, we're talking subtitles versus dubbing. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I was thinking different things.
Yes, I understand. We were talking about
porn, we were just talking about the Pornhub.
It would make perfect sense, but that's not what we're talking about. The joke, because explaining the joke makes it way funnier, apparently. The joke was that because that is a Japanese game that was translated poorly, and that's how the all your base are belong to us meme came about in the first place. The game's called Zero Wing. It's the game that Cats is from. That the sub versus dub conversation was won in favor of dub because it gave us the meme, Rhino.
I feel like that would be a point in favor of sub because without sub we wouldn't have the meme.
But the meme is a cultural icon.
Yes, so
and
so it's a
cultural
good thing.
icons are good.
Yeah, so sub.
So it's a point in favor of dub.
How is that a point in favor of dub? It was subbed.
Because it was a fucked up dub.
Was it?
Yes.
Then why is it in text in all the memes? Thank you for your 20-bit cheer, Morbid Palace.
So, God damn it. So when something is subbed, it is typically subbed well and professionally and officially. And the reason that the cats meme even happened in the first place was because it was dubbed over with a robotic voice, and that's what created the meme.
I mean, okay, sure. Why not? Anyway, I actually, so we always get stuck on Has Been Hotel spin-off stuff. I have a new sound for my soundboard.
Mm-hmm.
What are we even talking about?
Have you seen the video where it's
I have seen that, yes. That's where I pulled that clip from, because they pulled the music out of it.
Is the only thing she knows. She has no idea what the fuck's going on. Loot, why are you like this?
I did not find that video to be as amusing as many other people did.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's a bit of a meme, I decided I'd just roll with it.
Fair enough.
All right.
John Limbacher says Rhino needs to watch the best dub of all time. So you're gonna say Ghost Stories, right, John? Like, I'm assuming if you're saying best dub of all time, then Ghost Stories is what you're talking about. And if you say anything else, then I'm gonna be very upset.
No, it's clearly My Neighbor Totoro.
No.
The dub from the 1990s, not the dub from the early 2000s.
So, do you know?
See, I know some anime stuff.
Do you know the story behind the Ghost Stories dub?
I don't even know what the Ghost Stories is.
Okay, so good. Yeah, John says, "Yep." Okay, cool. So John knows exactly what I'm talking about. So, Ghost Stories was an anime that bombed in Japan. It did fucking horribly. So badly that when they sent it off to a Canadian dubbing company to get it to the United States and other Western properties, they basically said, "Look, this fucking failed. So you guys can do whatever you want with it so long as you keep the plot the same." God fucking damn it, I hate myself. Morbid Palace, why?
Morbid Palace says 10 for 10 bits says I cannot deal. Ghost Stories is best.
Ghost Stories is amazing. So what they did is the dubbing company said, okay, so the anime sucks, the script sucks. We are going to basically do Shakespeare abridged, but in anime form. And it is, now granted, it is early 2000s.
Cyrus, I know you have more experience in this than I do. How does one get a job at an anime dubbing company?
You need to first be a voice actor,
and you need to have
you need to have about 5 to 20. They're very vague on which number it is, but you have to have an amount of credits to your name that are official credits.
Does Zod's video count?
No, because it didn't count for me either.
God damn it, Zod, put your thing on IMDb.
Because I voiced for Zod too, and it didn't fucking help me either. But you have those credits, those official credits in typically indie projects, and then you send send your social to SAG-AFTRA, the guild.
I have seen people get their YouTube videos listed on IMDb.
Yeah.
I have videos that are long enough to count as a movie on IMDb. Could I just list my own shit and be like, these are my credits?
So what happens is you put in your social number, whatever they need it to be, basically. For me, it's my social security number. You give them your social security number and they run a background check on you, and they see if that literally, they do not tell you to list the credits. They just run the check, and then it automatically spits back whether or not you have enough. It just gives you a binary answer, yes or no. So my guess is between 5 and 20 credits on indie projects would be my guess. But that is what you need to basically go to the SAG-AFTRA guild and get your name in with them. Once that happens, then you're able to actually apply to join the guild. Once you have joined the guild, then you can actually start working for a dubbing company. But you cannot work for a dubbing company, as far as I know, unless that company is either indie, like fully indie, or happens
I
to
feel
have
like
guild affiliation.
I feel like there's some indie Japanese dubbing stuff going on.
I mean,
There might be a
there
lot
might
of
be,
like
it'd
there
be,
might be a lot of like groaning noises that I'd have to do for that.
it'd be. So you'd think that, but I know that Dan Green, who worked for 4Kids and was the voice of Yami Yugi, and regular Yugi, did have a credit in a porno where he said the lines in Yugi's voice, "Now cluck like a chicken." So, chances are you actually still work for that.
So 10VP says these streams have topics.
Sometimes.
To which I respond, I'm already done my first beer. We haven't even started the first news item. I have more news items than normal and more tweets than normal. And normally we've been going late recently, so this is going to be a really late one.
Tales of
Apparently.
Atonement says, "Wait, Cirrus, are you SAG-AFTRA?" No, I am not SAG-AFTRA affiliated yet, Tails. Otherwise, you would have had to sign a contract to get me on and gone through the guild. But I do
Wait,
not have.
I
enough
would have to
credits my
sign a
name yet.
contract to get you on my channel if you become a member of SAG-AFTRA?
No, because live streaming stuff is considered individual work. That
Okay.
is something that I'd be able to do
Okay.
as long as, it doesn't violate any contracts there. The things that you do have to sign for are when somebody is SAG affiliated, you have to sign for getting voice work from them. Either they have to voluntarily give their voice under contract, or you have to pay them guild rate for it, as opposed to like whatever rate you would normally negotiate, because that's one of the things they do is they are the union that tries to keep actors in their jobs and paid fairly.
Yeah, I support what they do, because like everybody when they hear professional actors, they picture the A-listers who are making millions of dollars for not doing much work, comparatively speaking. But the majority of I forget where I read this from, so take it with a grain of salt, but the majority of actors working out of Hollywood make less than $10,000 a year in acting, so they have to have other jobs that supplement their income.
Mm-hmm.
So like that'll be all the extras, that'll be the people with like one or two lines in a movie.
Yeah, that's the stuff that I just finished doing all the voice work for the video game that I'm still under NDA about. But I just finished all the voice work for that. So that is my first, as far as I know, that will be my first official credit that I'm able to use, because I don't think I can use my work on Tales of Atonement, and I don't think I can use my work for Prophet of Zod for the purposes of SAG. I think they needed to be in like more official capacities, which sucks because it's the whole like, to get work you need to have a bunch of experience, but to get that experience you legally have to be working with the guild, but to be with the guild you have to have enough experience for the guild to bring you in. It's a nightmare. But I have been noting the steps that I've taken in regards to this to my stream, so they've been kind of a little bit in the loop with what's been going on. But again, like, some of the stuff that's been going on is me under NDA, not able to say shit.
Yeah, well, like, so this might be something we could talk about offline, but like I actually feel like I could do a decent job as a voice actor. Like, I would never I would never be an A-lister. I can't do voices. It's just me. But like, if you just need someone to be a person as like a minor character or whatever, like I feel like I could do a decent job with that. So like I wouldn't mind getting into that as like an alternate.
So voice acting isn't doing voices.
I am aware of that.
Yeah, there's plenty of like actually the guy we talked about, guy who voices Husk and also Arbiter and a bunch of other characters.
Yeah, he's got the same voice.
It's always his voice.
My partner and I were like watching a bunch of like 80s cartoon intros last night. Fennec is saying Keith David. So we were watching a bunch of like 80s cartoons intros last night for just nostalgia purposes or whatever. And I pulled up the intro to Gargoyles and was like, oh my God, that's fucking Keith David.
Again, always, every time. It's always
Keith David. And she's just like, who? I'm like, Keith David, the guy who plays Husker. Who's Husker? Because she's only seen Has Been Hotel once because she didn't hyper focus on it like I did.
Yeah, see, I've technically only seen it once, but I've also gone through the OST for it so many times that it's basically pounded into my head at this point.
What are we even talking about?
I loot. Raymond Bell says, slap, keep sub versus dub out of your freaking mouth. No. I will not. I will not keep sub versus dub out of my mouth. I have very strong opinions about this. I
Okay.
grew up in the 90s.
Okay. Let's get to some news.
Yay!
This one we're not covering for a lot, but it was sent to me by Mark Fernkopf. We talked about this a little while ago. There was the restaurant in Vegas that did the Bluey event where the guy dressed as Bluey was like he looked like the meme of like oh, let's go meet Bluey. Oh, we have Bluey at home, and
he looked like a
he's the Bluey at
FNAF
home.
reject.
Yeah. So I don't want to read the whole thing, but the restaurant was like, oh yeah, no, yeah, we're sorry about that. We're gonna do a makeup event to make it better, and like you can meet like an actual Bluey when you come back. Well, the BBC got a hold of this, and BBC owns the copyright to Bluey. So they said they sent a cease and desist letter along with a little lawsuit saying, so the order, which comes from Bluey's executive licenses BBC Studios, says the unauthorized event is likely to cause confusion and harm BBC Studios, Ludo Studios, and the Bluey franchise. Bluey Studios has learned from press reports that you held a prior Bluey Day event that descended into chaos with crying children and disappointed parents. I just love that that's part of the legal record of this.
This is now just part of the lore.
Like forever now, this restaurant will have a legal filing in its name that says that they had an event that descended into chaos with crying children and disappointed parents.
They are now forever known as the Bluey restaurant.
The Bluey restaurant that will make your children cry. Yes. So that's all I need to say about that, because it's funny. So moving on to our headline article today. I don't suppose you had time to see what the stream is called?
No, I have not.
Okay. Florida priest accused of biting woman who is trying to take communion.
I'm sorry, the fuck?
Yeah, Florida priest bit a lady who was there for communion. Says like it's the Florida man of priests.
Why does even the church have to have a Florida man?
And the diocese is defending this guy.
What?
It's not just like, oh no, this priest was acting out of order or whatever, so we condemn his behavior. We should not be biting our parishioners. It's like, nope. They were like, nah, this guy was in the right.
How? How is he in the right for just biting some poor woman?
So, Florida priest is accused of biting a woman during a dispute at Sunday Mass and could be charged with battery. I say should be.
Yeah, he bit a woman.
So, she attended this 10 a.m. service. She had a brief discussion with Reverend Fidel Rodriguez, who told her that she hadn't taken proper steps to secure communion and sent her away with a blessing instead of communion. So, like, that's where, like, the Catholics take communion very seriously, and you can be denied communion. If, like, I don't know if you remember when Biden was first elected and it came out that, like, he was not anti-abortion. There was a big push to deny him communion, because that's a big deal to Catholics, apparently. So the woman returned for a service 2 hours later and again tried to take communion. And when Rodriguez asked her whether she had performed the prerequisite of confession required by the Catholic Church to receive the Eucharist, she told him it was not his business.
Okay.
Now this, I believe I got this from the AP. No, NBC. So I got this from NBC. They didn't really go into the detail, but her quote when she was speaking to law enforcement was, so she said it was not his business, and then he didn't have any information or details about the woman's background. At this point, he offered her Holy Communion. So he knew from the previous service that she hadn't done confession before that one, and technically you can't have communion unless you've done confession. And this time she said it's not his business. So he technically can't refuse her. So he did give it to her, but he was all grumpy about it. And she says he, like, shoved the wafer in her mouth. And,
what? Okay.
Yeah. So when it says he offered her Holy Communion, in her words, that is, he shoved a cookie down her throat. And she used the word cookie, not me, for the record.
Okay.
And so then at that point, the woman forcefully placed her hand in the vessel and grabbed some of the sacred communion hosts, crushing them. By hosts, he means the wafers, the crackers.
Yeah.
So she squished a bunch with her hand. And then the church said the woman pushed Rodriguez, who then bit her hand so that she would let go of the hosts that she grabbed.
This And this is the thing the church is defending. They're like, yeah, this
is
is
the
fine.
thing they're defending. Well, because the hosts are the literal body of Jesus. You can't disrespect
He
that.
was defending the body of Christ. You
Because
don't
these
understand.
remember, these are Catholics we're talking about. They believe in transubstantiation, which is that the crackers and wine literally turn into the flesh and blood of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. So, like, they literally believe that they are cannibalizing their God. It's not ritualistic for them. It literally became his literal flesh and blood. So, to desecrate his flesh is very, very bad. And it warrants attacking the lady with biting.
Are you sure there's not a few people in that church that would feel desecrating Christ's flesh to be a fetish?
No, I'm not sure about that at all.
So
I am going to.
They're like, I'd like to desecrate
so I'm going
his
to,
flesh.
So this is where, like, I am fine with people having religious beliefs. I'm fine with people having spiritual beliefs. I am, in fact, living with someone who is very important to me. And she is, she has spiritual beliefs. She's a spiritual person. And I'm fine with that. But as soon as it starts affecting reality, like, no, it needs to be, like, whatever you're doing, it needs to have a basis in reality. Like, there has to be, like, something measurable that you're
Once you have moved from I am praying to my God told me the sun is orange. I'm like,
yeah.
Well,
I mean, the sun is kind of. It's not. It's white.
Once we're past the point of you are doing a prayer, you are taking effectively suggestions from your God. Once we move from that to I heard these exact words and they said to do these things. That's usually my line of like,
if you're led
maybe it's time to stop.
If you're led to, like, biting someone because they're crushing some crackers that you think are sacred, it's like, they're just crackers though. And, like, even if you're right and they're the literal body of Jesus Christ himself,
he is not so weak so as to need, like, your teeth defense.
Yeah, he's supposed to be an omnipotent God. If he cares about what this lady's doing to the crackers, he can stop it himself. He doesn't need you to bite the lady. But then also, like, this gets into, and I'm going to talk about really gross things with regard to vomit for the next, like, few seconds. So I will, like, give the middle finger to the camera when I'm done, so you can, like, mute the stream if that's going to be terrible for you, because I know it's fucking gross.
People throw up.
No, you know where I'm going with this, I think. Because I think we covered this together a while ago, but there was a story where a nurse in a hospital who was Catholic, one of the patients vomited the Eucharist. Like, she'd taken communion and then she vomited, and then this nurse was like, we can't let the body of Christ be treated disrespectfully, so she ate the vomit. So I'm going to stop talking about this now so I can give the middle finger to the camera and we can bring everybody back in who is muted. So you can come back now.
One step too far.
Yeah, no, that was like, no. So yeah, like, actually believing shit like this can lead you to do real world things that are just
very
not useful, to say the least. So the woman told police that Rodriguez tried to ram the wafer into her mouth after he became upset with her for not having completed the necessary steps to take communion. So that was like well, technically I can't refuse you because you're not telling me, but I know from earlier that you didn't.
Yay.
So he was probably, like, grumpy and actually, like, was trying to ram it down her throat or whatever. She accused him of grabbing and biting her arm as she tried to take the wafer he was holding, the report said. Rodriguez told police that she attacked him first and that he was trying to protect the sanctity of communion. That shouldn't be a legal defense.
Her hand.
That shouldn't be a legal defense. They're crackers. I don't care if you consider them to be sacred. Your God can take the L on that one. So, like, if your God actually cares about that, he can protect them himself. You don't need to do that. And that does not justify biting someone.
Yeah.
So the woman pushed him and wouldn't let go of the tray. The only way he thought to extract her from it was to bite her arm, the police report said. Police said witnesses provided video of the incident, and I can't tell you how long I spent looking for this video, but the only video we could find, or that I could find, was like a video of someone recording this person like it was the police body cam video of her showing police the video, so you couldn't see shit. But so like I guess whoever took the video hasn't uploaded it. So that's unfortunate because I kind of want to watch this.
You need the shit show now?
I really want to see this. But yeah, the Diocese of Orlando said Rodriguez responded in a way that was aimed to protect the Holy Communion from this sacrilegious act. Fuck you. Jesus can protect himself.
Yeah, we're past this point. I would think we are past the point where defenses like that sound even mildly plausible, but obviously we're not.
Yeah.
If an entire diocese is looking at this and going, yes, this was fine, this was okay.
Well, I mean, in the diocese defense, they say, well, the Diocese of Orlando does not condone physical altercations such as this. In good faith, Father Rodriguez was simply attempting to prevent an act of desecration of the Holy Communion. I don't understand why desecration is such a big deal. Like, do they really think so little of their God that he can't protect himself from some lady crushing a few crackers? Like, a lady crushed a few crackers.
See, the thing, it's weird to me, because on the one hand, I know that they don't think that little of their God, but on the other hand, you look at the actions that are being taken, and it obviously spells out that they do, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a very weird juxtaposition between actual shit that is happening and God, what's the best way to word this? It's a juxtaposition between what they say and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Is the easiest way to put it.
Yeah. No, they don't behave in a way that backs up their beliefs.
No.
And it's the same thing where, like, you get these apologists saying that, like, oh, well, you know, if you're a Christian, you don't really die, you just change locations. But they are just as sad at funerals as atheists are. Like, yep. I don't get that sad if someone moves away from me, because I know I can still talk to them later. So, like, if they just change location...
They're basically dead. They're gone forever. You have to be like a dog here, where you just go, look, you were gone forever. I counted.
Considering I don't have a single friend that is within driving distance of me.
Yeah, we're all dead.
You're all dead to me.
We're all dead.
You don't count as a friend.
Oh, okay.
Not you. I'm talking to the person who sucks my dick.
Oh, okay.
And it's not a friends with benefits situation. It's more than that. It is more than that. So, yeah. So anyway,
is that news to her?
I hope not.
It's like things just got a lot more awkward if so.
The nefarious name of doom just redeemed a hydrate. So thanks for that, and that is an awesome Twitch name. I love that one. I haven't seen you in my chat before, so welcome to my chat. Keep that mouth busy.
Hello and welcome to his channel. He's Vice Rhino there.
Okay. So then the diocese went on to say, it is not something that a person can arbitrarily demand, and is certainly not a mere cookie, as the complainant called it.
It is a mere cookie.
No, it doesn't even rise to the level of cookie. Cookies are good. They are bland and gross. Someone redeemed a hat, so I'm going to have to do the hat. Let's do wizard hat. Let's do wizard tonight.
Have you seen the...
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Cirrus, however, is always late.
Yes, I wasn't late today, though.
You ambled in 4 minutes before go time.
Yes, I did.
That's late.
I was busy helping Saki get rid of an ant mound.
I am someone who freaks out if I am not on track to be 15 minutes early for whatever I'm aiming to be at. So, the idea that you... Oh.
Well, Well, I'm
Okay.
sorry I
We got-
can't be the platonic ideal of punctuality.
I got a hat that matches your slime.
Oh my god.
I forgot about this hat. This is not my hat. I am borrowing it from one of my partner's children.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think I like this better than the wizard hat, so we'll stick with this for now because it matches you.
Masturbation is witchcraft. Then it's wizard time, motherfucker.
It's always wizard time. Anywho, moving on. Mississippi man accused of destroying statue of pagan idol at Iowa State Capitol takes plea deal. So you remember this? We covered this before, where
Yep.
dude, like Christmas time, Satanic Temple put up a display at the state capitol because they wanted to have a Christian display up, and legally speaking, the only way you could do that is by saying anyone can put up a holiday display, because First Amendment, the government shall make no law respecting establishment of religion. So they can't say Christians only. They have to say everybody or nobody. That's how it works. So the Satanic Temple rolled in and was like, okay, we're part of everybody. And they put up a display. And then this Christian guy was like, hey, I don't like that. So he drove several hours out of his way so that he could go and destroy it.
Let's see how well that worked for him.
Unfortunately, it seems to have worked pretty well. We'll get to it.
In that he's gotten famous for it.
He's gotten money for it too. I don't know how GoFundMe's work, but I feel like he made bank on this. So Mississippi man accused of destroying a state statue. Do you really need to continue saying accused of after he's pled guilty to it? A Mississippi man who destroyed a state statue of a pagan idol at Iowa State Capitol pled guilty on Friday to a reduced charge in return for prosecutors dropping the felony hate crime count. If this is a first offense, like, okay, I can understand going a little bit easy on him, but given the circumstances, I feel like they shouldn't have.
Well, because given the circumstances, this is fully premeditated.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
Everything here was 100% planned. And then
yeah,
looking at...
You can't say it was a crime of passion if you, like, drove several hours out of your way to go destroy it.
Yeah.
So,
and then when you look at what he's actually done afterwards, if he's been making money off of publicity after the fact, then okay, then it's basically a cut and dry thing that every single part of this was calculated.
Mm-hmm. So his attorney filed a guilty plea on his behalf to an aggravated misdemeanor count of third-degree criminal mischief instead of the hate crime shit. So Cassidy admitted in writing that he partially dismantled the display in Iowa State Capitol building without a right/license to do so, and that the damage was greater than $750. So they put up the statue of Baphomet, which drew strong criticism from state and national leaders, including Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. And so they were very publicly being like, oh, this is gross. Somebody should do something about it. Wink, wink, wink.
Oh, why won't somebody rid me of this meddlesome priest?
I'm not going to lie. We have done that same thing on this very show with regards to certain Christian nationalist judges who people will somehow still deny that he's a Christian nationalist. But, like, Republicans are on record as saying the best way to deal with people like that is by beating them. Wink, wink, wink. Except they explicitly specify children. But, like, since adults are capable of taking more of a beating than children, then logically, you draw that conclusion yourself. So, like, I'm not going to pretend to take the high ground here and be like, that's not something I would do. But, like, you can't do that and then pretend like it didn't have an impact on it.
Yeah.
Like, if something actually came of us saying that, then I would fully take ownership for that.
You'd feel horrible. Just be like, yeah, no,
yeah,
I did.
Yeah, I'd absolutely feel horrible. Of course, legally speaking.
It's not like somebody's writing a manifesto talking about how much they watched our show.
I'm not sure how I'd feel about that.
But we do know that there are people like, say, Lauren Southern, who I do need to make an episode about, actually, because of something she said recently.
God.
But there are people like Lauren Southern who are quoted in white nationalist manifestos after they go on a killing spree. So I'm just saying.
I don't want a spree. I'm just like, there's just like one or two people.
You don't want a spree, just one or two. The fuck? I think maybe you should go into this with less alcohol.
No, the alcohol levels are fine. I'm still thinking good.
I am trying to save your ass. You are not making it easy.
I'm Canadian. Good luck extraditing.
You're not the one who's
Cirrus does not endorse my opinions. They are my own.
So to say, you're not the one who's about to go to New York to canvass.
Okay, fair point.
Fuck, I try to tell people in my chat to get politically involved, so here I am going and doing it, and you're just sitting here
I'm encouraging political involvement.
You're just sitting there like Goofy in that one freaking YouTube
Come on.
video where he's on trial.
Look at my
murder.
Look at my hat. Can anyone take me seriously? Would anyone
I'll do it again. All
Would
right,
anyone
Dr.
think I was
Carlson?
being serious when I'm wearing this hat?
Yes, we
No.
get it.
No, they
Rhino
would not.
Carlson.
I am perfectly within my legal rights to hope that something bad happens to certain people.
So long as you're in that hat, you have to be wearing the hat.
No, you're allowed to
Fox
hope
News-
anything regardless of hats.
Otherwise, Fox News can't mount a proper legal defense for you.
Okay, so the figure depicting the horned deity Baphomet was destroyed beyond repair, according to the group. Cassidy, the guy who destroyed it, said, "My conscience is held captive to the word of God, not to bureaucratic decree, and so I acted." Bullshit.
God didn't tell you to blow up the statue. And if he did, we have to have some questions with your psychiatrist, whom I hope you have.
Yeah, like, the word of God says you should obey government authorities, and government authorities said that it was okay to have non-Christian displays up. So, there you go.
God told me to blow it up.
So here we go. Cassidy raised more than Cassidy raised more than $134,000 for his legal defense via the Christian fundraising site Give Send Go. Oh, so it's not even GoSendMe. So it probably all just went to him directly as cash, and then he just paid a lawyer to submit paperwork saying, "Yeah, I plead guilty to a lesser charge." And that's it. And I know from experience, lawyers are fucking expensive, but like just submitting one thing to say I plead guilty to something probably costs less than $20,000, if I had to guess. So, guy made over $100,000, and oh yeah, he's gonna have to pay to replace the statue, which might be a couple thousand.
At least that's a hit to his ego. Like, we get to build this one in your honor, Cassidy.
Diehard Anime Otaku says, "Can we send Rhino hats? I want to make him several knit hats." I feel like I need to put my P.O. Box address in the description on the watering hole. I don't think I've done that yet, but yeah.
Have you tried having a bot set up so that people can type in P.O. Box on your stream and it will automatically bring it up?
Okay, Cirrus, while you were streaming the other night, I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to, like, I'm trying to set up my bot to just, like, show the custom emojis that I have on my channel.
Yeah?
And I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to fucking do that. So, like, you might have seen me in your chat typing nonsense into the thing, like, trying to test whether certain commands would work. And, I don't know. I meant to message you about that so we could, like, so you could, like, help me with that privately, but then it's just like, nah, I can just play with it now.
Jesus Christ.
And you want me to set up a custom thing to, like...
It's not hard!
I know it's not hard, but I don't know how to do it. And there's no the only thing I found was like, oh, if you install this extension, then emojis that you've uploaded to this other third-party service will show up.
You don't need an extension?
That was the only thing that I saw when I Googled it. And they didn't even explain how to upload your emojis to the other third-party site, which, like, yeah, no, I can figure that shit out for myself as soon as I know what third-party site it is. But it's like, oh, we're going to show you how to integrate, like, something or other TV emojis to your Twitch stream. And, like, why would I want to do that? I just want to use the ones I have on Twitch.
You just type in the actual emojis into the Are you
Did
using
that
stream
and it
elements?
didn't work.
Because you don't. Okay, so
It's with the
here's
colon,
problem.
right? I probably formatted it wrong, and it was just like one little tiny thing that I need to change, but I don't know what that one little tiny thing is, and nobody's telling me.
Is your stream elements bot subscribed to your channel?
Oh, like it has to pay?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
So I need to pay myself through Stream Elements.
Yes. So this is the reason why
and
for
then
like
give Twitch a cut of it.
So this is why for Twitch partners, they actually give us three permanent things that we can divvy out. And now granted, I say that I have a permanent sub I'm allowed to divvy out. You'll notice that mine fucks up a lot because I forgot to do this. I'm saying it's possible. I know how. My problem is laziness.
Yeah. Whatever. I'll figure it out at some point. So yeah, anyways, he made $134,000. His legal fees would surprise me if it was over 20K.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has to pay like maybe 2,000 or 3,000 to replace the friggin' thing. Oh, my 3D printer's done.
Oh, you're using it again?
Yeah. Right now I'm doing science stuff with the kids. So I don't know if you saw. What's his face? Oh, he's that guy that like when I first saw him, he looks like Faces of Meth, but like after, but not like one of the really Steve Mold. That's the one. He looks like he does not look good. But his videos are great. And he did this thing where like he made these 3D printable models available to anyone, where like if you put lighter fluid in them and then light them up, you get like a little flame that just runs through this track and does interesting things. And so that's what I'm printing now.
Interesting. I'm printing Pokeballs.
I'm going to be printing a model of Scar from The Lion King so that one of my stepkids can paint it. Because
how big are you making the model?
I don't know. I haven't even decided which model I'm printing yet, but he is obsessed with The Lion King.
I remember that. I remember doing that.
Yeah.
I annoyed my parents so much by just constantly replaying the movie over and over and over again.
But he will watch the YouTube videos with the AI generated voice reading the friggin' family tree of everybody. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it.
Oh, he's into the deep lore shit.
Yes.
Oh.
He knows about the Lion Guard and how Scar got his scar and everything. Like, I don't know. He knows every fucking thing about that.
He has discovered fandom.
Yeah.
Oh, you've lost him.
And well, we had to draw a line with YouTube because he wanted to watch the one of those channels where it's just some kid playing with toys, and he wanted to watch that with Lion King toys. I was like, no, we are not. Like, no, you're not going to watch a video of some kid playing with toys. Like, I have a hard enough time with the like content mill AI voice reading a script that was AI generated bullshit that he already watches with with regards to like you know when it's like it's playing clips of a TV show and it's just like very badly summarizing what's going on in the clip.
Here is the part in the movie.
Those things.
Here is the part in the movie where the man decided to do the thing.
Yeah, I fucking hate that. Those videos are the worst.
Yep. There is some AI generated bullshit slop though that I'm going to be introducing my chat to after we're done with our stuff tonight. That is actually the best stuff on the internet, I swear to God.
Well, that's fun.
It's going to be the one time that my chat goes, yeah, that's a good use of AI.
Anyway, so this guy raised $134,000, probably only paid $20,000 or less to a lawyer. Might have to pay a couple thousand things. So he's at least made $100,000 off of this. And with this being a Christian fundraising site, I'm guessing there's zero oversight to make sure that the money actually went to legal defense as opposed to just him pocketing it because
Mhm.
it's Christian. You can trust us. We're Christian.
Of course, he's a good Christian
I
man.
actually I can't find the article anymore. I'm sure if I actually looked for it hard, I could. But one of the things that I found when I was looking into like Christian-owned businesses, there was an article written by a pastor who is a devout Christian who explained why he never hires businesses that advertise themselves as Christian because they always rip you off.
They're always
They always
scummy.
expect that you are not going to scrutinize them because they're the Christian business. They must be honest, and so they charge higher prices for the same thing or worse just by virtue of the fact that people will trust them because they're Christian. And so a pastor is saying he avoids Christian businesses. So, yeah, if Christian pastors don't want to go with the Christian businesses, then I'm going to say that they're kind of sketchy.
Probably a good idea to avoid them at that point.
Yeah. So supporters said he acted with bravery and conviction. He was not willing to see God reviled. Putting up a statue of Baphomet doesn't revile God. It's just showing that like people with other viewpoints exist.
Yep.
And if you have a problem with that, that's a you problem.
If you have a problem with that, then you have a problem with America.
Yeah. Especially in a building where lawmakers are supposed to honor Jesus Christ as king. No, they're not. And
But
look to his law for wisdom as they legislate with justice and righteousness. You know, like legislating things like how much you're allowed to beat your slaves and which nations you're allowed to buy your permanent slaves from.
my brain is Magic the Gathering poisoned. I heard which place you're allowed to buy your permanents from, and I'm like, ooh, buying permanents? That's a mechanic now?
Oh, I saw a post on Twitter from Retraction Watch today that they're talking about paper mills, which are like pay to publish
Yeah.
journals. That like if you give them a certain amount of money, it doesn't matter how crappy your paper is, they'll publish it anyway. But the picture they chose for it was like of a paper mill making paper, and so like my brain was in the mind space of like making paper, and it was talking about how paper mills are operated like the mafia or mob or whatever. I'm like, really? The people that make paper that I might like print coloring pages for my kids on are like mafia owned things? Oh no, they're talking about scientific journals. Okay, that makes more sense. So yeah.
Different kind.
So yeah,
Completely different kind.
worth mentioning is that this is the Satanic Temple that does not believe in a literal Satan. They describe themselves as a non-theistic organization that advocates for secularism, and they are separate from the Church of Satan, which I think that's the Lucian Greaves one from the 1960s,
I think so.
which I don't think they believe in a literal Satan either, but it's a bit more supernatural in that one than the Satanic Temple.
Yeah, with the temple, it's more just, hey, this is a figurehead who has ideas we believe in, like individuality and freedom.
Yeah. So the plea agreement calls for Cassidy to receive a deferred judgment with 2 years probation and an $855 civil penalty, and to pay restitution in an amount to be determined. So that'd be the value of the statue he destroyed. He would also be required to participate in a victim offender dialogue with representatives of the Satanic Temple if requested. I feel like they wouldn't request that, or they would request it just to make him sit through it.
It would be funny just to make him waste his time.
Yeah. And then the sentencing recommendation is not binding on the court, however. So it is possible that a judge could see this and see he's pleading guilty and being like, okay, yeah, he pled guilty to it, but I'm still going to treat it as a hate crime and give him more charges. I'm not holding out for that because it's fucking Idaho. There's been a lot of bad news out of Idaho, so...
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Mississippi? Oh no, he's from Mississippi. Oh, Iowa, not Idaho. Iowa. Whatever. One of those Midwestern podunk places. Love you, Midwesterners.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay. We got
We're not covering what happened with Elon Musk the last couple days, are we
something
today?
happened with Elon Musk? No.
Oh, okay. So you mentioned the paper mill thing.
Well, okay. So
And-
someone somewhere is pointing out I got things wrong. I can't find where the thing is to highlight it, but So LaVey is the Church of Satan. Greaves is the temple. So Anton LaVey is the Church of Satan guy.
Okay.
Okay, you're saying Elon Musk.
So recently, Elon Musk got in an argument with an actual scientist on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Apparently, the dude that he got in an argument with is also kind of an asshole and not a person to celebrate generally. But the point is, the specific line that got me was Elon going, "And what, quote, science have you done in the last 5 years?" And the guy's just like, "Well, I've got about 80 papers that are completely attributed to me with lots of citations. Like these are mine, and I published them." And then Elon tried to go like,
Everyone was like,
"Those are
so
rookie
what?"
numbers," basically. And I'm just like, Elon, you don't have any scientific
Like,
papers
you don't
attributed to
have
your name.
any of those. You
pay
pay other people to do the science.
You have a patent in your name for a design for your vehicles you aren't even using. That's what you have. A patent. Singular. That you haven't done anything with. That's all he's got.
Freaking Elon. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I have no idea who that person was, but I did see that and I did giggle at it.
It is cathartic to watch that happen. You would think that every single stock associated with Elon would drop every single time one of those interactions happens.
You'd think, but capitalism's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this one we can go through quick. Ex-Trump lawyer Jenna Ellis barred from practicing law for several years over Georgia election lies.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so this is mainly what I want to get into here is there's two things. Is that first, Trump has a whole lot of lawyers that used to be his lawyer that now aren't allowed to practice law. And they're not
Weird how
like
that
little
keeps
names. They're big names like Rudy Giuliani, who was someone that I heard of before I knew who Donald Trump was. Like, he could have retired and been America's mayor in the history books. But no, now he's that weird guy who destroyed his career for Donald Trump.
There's a lot of weird guys who destroyed their career for Donald Trump.
Jester, Lord of Fools, says, I dare you woo to woo, hit to the button each applicable time. How many oo-woos could Suwurus oo-woo if a Suwurus could oo-woo the most oo-woo yet? Okay, so I feel like
I'm going to be significantly closer to stabbing proximity to you
I
in a
dare
few weeks.
you
Oo-woo.
to
Oo-woo.
hit the button each applicable time. How many
Oo-woo.
could a Suwurus
Oo-woo. Oo-woo.
if a Su
Oo-woo.
could
Oo-woo.
the most
Oo-woo.
edge? Did that satisfy you, Jester?
What are we even talking about?
We've lost Cirrus. I'll do the rest on my own. But hey, audience, while I have your attention, all by myself.
So I was thinking maybe you would want to do a sex with me.
Audience, all of you, all at once.
Because I'm having sex with everybody!
Why?
Because they're hot.
No, not why you're having sex with everyone.
Oh.
The answer to that is you're a whore.
Jester Lord of Fools gave me $5. That's why. I will do anything for. I will do anything. I will do anything for $5 as long as the anything is something that humiliates Cirrus.
$5 is $5.
Jester Lord of Fools sent a little happy dog sticker.
Jesus Christ.
10PP says, I'm Ace too, but my wife might want to watch. Okay. Van Brink says, I'm down to watch an orgy, but I won't be partaking. There we go. We've been floating the idea of an OnlyFans channel for the two of us. It's an OnlyFans, but everybody who's watching gets to join in. Oh, the logistics in that would be a nightmare.
So it's a literal only fans. Only the fans are on display.
Okay, so ex-Trump lawyer Jenna Ellis barred from practicing law for several years over Georgia election lies. So here's Trump burns through so many lawyers that when I heard Jenna Ellis, I was like, which one is she? Is she the Kraken? No, she wasn't the Kraken. That was Sidney Powell. Is she the one that was most recent with? No, that was Alina Habba. And it was like, he just burns through lawyers. So it's like, oh yeah, Jenna Ellis is that one that I don't even remember what she was notable for, but I know the name. But yeah, so former Trump lawyer Jenna Ellis has had her law license suspended for 3 years in her home state of Colorado for the lies she spread as part of it, an effort to overturn the 2020 election results in Georgia. This is not like career ending for her because she practices mostly in Florida. But like she does do the occasional thing in Colorado, so it does kind of suck for her.
I just want to know, after so many lawyers have already had this particular
She's the blonde one, that'll narrow it down.
oh my God. After so many lawyers have already gone through this particular song and dance for Daddy Trump, I just have to wonder, why would any of them take anything for him ever again?
Yeah, especially considering he doesn't even pay them. Like, he's got a reputation for just not paying his lawyers. So, like what lawyer is going to take him on now?
Like, it can't be for the money, obviously, because half of them aren't getting any.
I mean, his fucking criminal lawyer in his criminal trial in New York right now used the excuse with his judge, it's my first day. So he's running so low on lawyers now that he's relying on people that have never been to trial before, never cross-examined a witness.
People that just managed the bar exam, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
that's where they're at.
Yeah, so like people just don't want his case anymore. Like, I know he's going to appeal this, and ineffective assistance of counsel is one of the things he's going to appeal it under, and I could actually kind of see that, and it would tickle me to see Trump not able to find a good lawyer and like have to rely on a public defender or something at some point.
Katini says you haven't seen the clip where Giuliani farted during a deposition to Congress.
Seen that clip. I have seen that clip. Wasn't Eileen Cannon there with him? No, not Eileen.
My God.
Cannon. Sorry, somebody said Eileen Cannon in the chat. Jenna Ellis. Wasn't Jenna Ellis in the room with him at that point? I feel like she was. But I could be mistaking her for one of the other
one of the other Trumpettes.
One of the other best people that he always hires.
I feel like if I was in that position, it would be like taking Gas-X before ever going into any room ever for the rest of my life, just to make sure that the chance of that happening wasn't there.
Yeah. So a prosecutor in the case told the Georgia court that Ellis aided and abetted Trump lawyers when they basically told Georgia state senators that tens of thousands of votes in the state were illegal. While disbarment is the presumptive sanction for respondents' misconduct, it is significant that her criminal culpability was due to her conduct as an accessory, not as a principal. So she would have been disbarred, but because she was only an accessory, not a principal defendant, they're letting her off with a slap on the wrist of, you can't practice in our state for 3 years.
Slap on wrist.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's a fairly big slap. It's a firm slap on the wrist, but it is still just a slap on the wrist.
It's also not the state she's primarily practicing in. So.
Yes, which is why it's a slap on the wrist. Because if it was the one she was primarily practicing in, then she'd have to could you think of a more friendly state for people like Jenna Ellis than Florida? Because that is where she mostly practices.
Texas.
Joe Walsh says 168 heads in chat, not even 40 likes. I appreciate the enthusiasm. And I'm really bad at begging people to like and subscribe to my stuff, so I appreciate it when other people do it.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Vice Rhino channel. Please like and subscribe, and if you enjoy the content, make sure to send it to your best friend and family member as well. We make lots of sex jokes, which is entirely appropriate for when your grandma tunes into the show.
Someone clip that so I can put that in my main videos. Do it.
Welcome to the Vice Rhino channel, where he's too lazy to clip his guests doing anything at all,
I mean,
despite him not having to do the work in the first place.
somewhere in my YouTube studio or Twitch studio or whatever, there's a button that I can press to like put a bookmark there so I can remember it later. But I'm damned if I know where that button is. I know it exists. I'm a professional, y'all. This is what I do for a living. Matt Powell video coming out on Friday. It's a fun one. Oh, fucking Matt Powell.
I haven't talked about him in a super long time.
So he says that his evidence for the flood is irrefutable. No evolutionist can refute these claims. And
oh, perfect.
So it's half stuff that I've already refuted. So like most of my response to him is just go watch this other video. I've already dealt with that in great detail. And the other half of it is, this shit is so crazy, I can't even find other creationists saying it. So I don't even know what you're claiming here. So remember, yeah, I guess you win. I can't refute it because it's just so crazy. I don't even know what you're saying.
Remember, gamers want to drink Mountain Dew and nothing else.
No, it was Coke. It was Coke.
It was Coke. Oh, okay. He's not even hip with gamer culture. Got it. And he's also the pterodactyls were in the Civil War guy.
I have a montage of stupid things he said. It's the air in space, the pterodactyls in the Civil War, the T-Rex evolved its legs into chicken wings. The African Americans, if African Americans evolved from other Americans, how come there's still African Americans that are around today? That's an actual thing that he said. Oh my god, it's so great. I wish I had it queued up so that I could just press a button and play it right now. It's like it's like a minute and a half of just him saying the stupidest shit you've ever heard. And you know what? He's the person that, like, I will go the hardest on him because he is just such a piece of shit, and he has demonstrated that he's a piece of shit, that, like, I don't care that I am making fun of his intellectual capabilities. Like, normally I'd be... So
I'm perfectly fine making fun of his intellectual capabilities because I've had him on my show.
Have you? You're going to have to send me the link. I don't remember
Science, during the time that me and a bunch of other content creators were making fun of science, falsely so called, I believe it was episode 3, Matt Powell came into my chat, and every single one of the people who was going over the movie with me went, yeah, bring him in. So Matt became one of the people on the panel critiquing his own movie, where we kept telling him how fucking stupid he was.
So he actually... In my comments on one of my videos responding to him, he challenged me to, like, have a live discussion with him. And then he deleted that comment before I saw it. Like, somebody else sent me the screenshot of it. So I know he's aware of me. I know he watches my stuff. He has actually modified his arguments in response to things that I have said. So, like, I know he watches anytime I respond to him. But he's afraid to talk to me. He has never talked to me. Like, I know he's talked to John. Apparently he's talked to you. But he's afraid of me for some reason. So, yeah, fuck. Matt Powell. Like, somebody clip this too so I can send it directly to Matt Powell. But, like, Matt Powell, I will have you on my channel. We can have a live stream, you and me. I would love that. I would fucking love that. But also, I think he's afraid of me because I'm not afraid to make him feel like shit. Like, normally I would be nice to people. I give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, for, like, one of my recent videos, the guy that I was responding to, he gave me vibes of, like, I think there's something going on mentally. Like, there's a mental, like he might be autistic. There's something going on there. And there were times when it was, like, affecting the points that he was making that I just overlooked because, like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna stoop to that level because I, like, whatever, that's not something he has control over. Let him be. Also, my partner is convinced that I am autistic, and I have at least one autistic child, possibly 2. So, like, I'm not gonna condemn someone for being autistic or whatever. But, like, with Matt Powell, he's just, like, there's such irrefutable evidence that he is just a piece of shit as a person that I don't care. If I make him feel bad, that makes me happy. because he is someone who deserves to feel bad. Like, there are
He
other people
does-
that's like, yeah, no, whatever. That's just a part of your personality quirk. I'm just going to let it slide. But like, map out like that cupcake thing that Ocean posted. Somebody reviewed
Yeah,
the
the,
hat, so I
the
have to do
abusive
the hat.
cupcake.
Yeah, the abusive cupcake thing is like, no, he emotionally manipulates his followers. He probably does the same thing to his family. Oh, you have a request for the Octo hat? Okay, fine. We'll do Octo hat instead of that one. I like the Octo hat. And I paid a lot of money for this thing, because this was an Etsy thing.
I'm trying to see which
So, like, this was a
episode.
hand-knitted Etsy hat by someone, and I paid way too much money for it. So, yeah, if you request the Octo hat, you get the Octo hat.
God, was it in episode 3?
Dither says the
I'm-
fact that he's a dad still baffles me. Yeah, no, he still comes across as like an awkward teenager.
Yeah, he does. Okay, so I can't figure out exactly which point in which episode it was, but I remember him coming on at one point. So I've got a link to the playlist where it was like episode 1 was, I think, me, Bionic Dance, Frustrated Atheist, and Shay. Episode 2 is like me and Aaron Raw and a few other people. But I don't remember which guest was on when he came into the chat. And that would help me because each episode had a different set of guests.
Oh, Monorail says, but he lives under Kent Hovind's roof. I think him and Kent Hovind
Not
had a
anymore.
falling out.
They had a falling out.
Yeah.
They're not. I made a video on that talking about it like it was a divorce.
Yeah, it seems like it. So, anyway, back to the Jenna Ellis thing. So, apparently she exhibited remorse. I doubt it. She faked remorse for the sake of getting a lesser sentence. So she did this at considerable personal cost, having received threatening emails, texts, and tweets, also of the obscene variety. How many of those have you caused? Forgive me for not feeling bad for that. And like, yeah, I'm not saying sending threatening emails, text, tweets, or obscene emails, texts, and tweets, that's not justified. Like, no, don't do shit like that. But like, I see how Ruby Freeman was treated, and how Trump is continuing to treat witnesses and jurors even. And like the gag order has a purpose. It's not just people being
It's not
mean
just there
to
for
Trump.
giggles.
No, it's not people being mean to Trump. It's people actually like, no, these are people who need protection from this rich and powerful man attacking them, because we've seen what happens when he attacks people. So, yeah, I'm sorry that you experienced just a portion of what your boss caused other people to experience. It sucks for you. But like, maybe he should stop doing it too.
Be a
And-
good idea.
Yeah, it shows she gratefully accepted suspension of her license under her role, and realizing after the fact that there were a lot of untruths being advanced on behalf of the former president. The evidence surrounding her plea reflects that she aided and abetted the false statements issued through her presence at the Georgia Senate subcommittee meeting, but did not otherwise contribute to the drafting or preparing of false statements. She also expressed remorse and recognition as the harm caused by her misconduct. So she has officially recognized that Trump was like engaging in election fraud, basically.
Good. That's
So-
a start.
Yeah. I feel no sympathy for her. Sucks to be you. Now sleep in the bed that you made. And honestly, it should be worse. But at the same time, this is another thing that's on the record where it's like, yeah, no, I pled guilty to the thing that Trump is also guilty of, that like I was a co-conspirator. So clearly there's something there. Otherwise I wouldn't have pled guilty. It would have been innocent. So, And finally, we're gonna end on a positive note tonight.
Oh,
Yeah.
something good.
Yeah, there was a study, and this is one of those things where it's like, did that even need a study? I'm glad that they did it, but like it's kind of a well duh sort of thing. Same-sex weddings haven't harmed straight marriages, study shows.
Well, I'm glad a study was done on
I'm
that.
glad there's a study. I'm glad there's something that I can point to that probably has a DOI number that I can flash on my videos when I refer to it. So that makes me happy. But like, well fucking duh. Like, I've said this before on the channel. I got married on the day that same-sex marriage was legalized in Ontario, which is where I live. I didn't know that for more than 15 years. That's how big of an impact same-sex marriage has on straight marriage, is that I didn't even know that I got married on the very day that same-sex marriage became legal for 15 years. So like, yeah, no fucking duh. But at least now there's a scientific thing.
Yay, we have proof that this is fine.
So this comes to us from Newsweek. Despite arguments against equal marriage, legalizing the marriage of same-sex couples has had no negative impact on the rates among different sex couples. Legalizing same-sex nuptials has actually led to a slight increase in marriage rates overall. Fancy that. Allow more people to get married, and more people get married. Legalizing same-sex marriage has also resulted in several positive impacts on society. These include improved physical health of LGBTQ+ individuals in those states, fewer hate crimes, and increased state-level adoption rates after marriage. So, people are healthier, there are fewer hate crimes, and more kids in need of adoption are getting adopted.
Good.
It's all good.
That feels like that should be the easiest thing in the world to figure out, but
yeah. Or yeah,
apparently we need
but
a
some of
whole
those kids
study to figure that
some of
out.
those kids are going to be adopted by same-sex couples, don't you see, Cyrus? Who, statistically speaking, all the outcomes are the same, except children of same-sex couples do better in school. So, yeah. I don't know. Some of those who oppose granting marriage rights to same-sex couples predicted that doing so would undermine the institution of marriage itself, resulting in fewer couples marrying, more couples divorcing, and an overall retreat from family formation. But overall, the parent...
I have to wonder, what does undermine even mean to these people? Like, I know that I know it's technically all of those things that are listed there, but I'd like to ask an actual person when they say that, so what does that word mean to you? What does it mean to undermine marriage? Like, how did your marriage get affected by this?
So the nefarious name of Doom says, well, that's obviously because you never knew the joy of pre-same-sex marriage area. And that's a sarcastic comment. I'm like, well, I'm currently doing what is commonly called living in sin right now. So that's well, yeah, no, that's not pre-same-sex marriage though. Honestly, though, like, living with a partner and being married to a partner, there's no difference.
Yeah, that's
there's no effective difference. Like, yeah, we don't have the piece of paper making it official. But yeah, no, there's no difference. I mean, like, when I say there's no difference, I don't mean like there's no difference between the people that I am cohabitating with.
I don't think that's what people worry
but
about.
Like, yeah, no, like the quality.
The piece of paper isn't changing anything.
Yeah, no, like if we were actually married versus just living together now, like that wouldn't change how we do anything. Our lives are functionally the same, and we've actually discussed this, and like we will probably never get married, but we will at some point have a big ceremony to be like, hey, we are making a public commitment to each other. Do we need to get married? Fuck that piece of paper. But we want to throw a big party and dress in fancy clothes and whatever.
You want to do the fun parts.
Yeah. Yeah, so overall, the fears of opponents of same-sex marriage have simply not come to pass. So the researchers analyzed the results of nearly 100 studies. So this is a meta-analysis of 100 studies investigating the impacts of same-sex marriage. That sounds like I wish this was just a waste of money, because like letting more people get married when they just love each other, Like, whatever.
It should just be fine.
Just let them fucking do it. It doesn't matter. Why do we need a study to say that's okay? But we have over 100 studies where they they studied the impacts of same-sex marriage. And they found that after states legalized it, marriage rates increased at a greater rate than could be explained by only same-sex ones. So,
God, imagine that.
yeah, so like new marriages increased by 1 and 2% among different sex couples and about 10% amongst all couples. So like even just like more straight people got married as a result of legalizing same-sex marriage. So like, no, that it doesn't impact the sanctity of marriage. It doesn't negatively impact it. If anything, it increases it. Okay. Sorry, I need to take it off because it's a lovely hat, but I have an issue with hats where they make my forehead itch, and this one does that. It triggers that in ways that the ones that sit on top of my headset don't.
Completely understandable.
So we find no evidence for a retreat from marriage. In fact, there is evidence suggesting that by extending marriage rights to a greater number of couples, interest in marriage increased. And that finding is not limited to same-sex couples. This is also true for the broader population. And there's also things like, I've brought this up before, where in like non-United States countries and like other countries in the world, when they've legalized same-sex marriage, that has had a positive health impact even on same-sex couples that did not get married, like same-sex people that had no intention of ever getting married. It still had positive health impacts that were measurable. So like, it's good for everybody, it's bad for nobody.
But it's bad for me because I get off to the idea of possibly being gay, and I have a shame kink, and I really don't want you mucking that up. Okay, it's a real important part of how I de-stress.
Yeah, you can find someone. You can find someone that will consensually shame you. You don't need to trick me into shaming you. But there were no declines in the marriage rates of different sex couples, and there were no increases in divorce rates of different sex couples. So didn't do anything to hurt same-sex or different sex marriage. And on top of that, it also found that in states where same-sex marriage had been legalized, there was a drop in state-level rates of syphilis, HIV, and AIDS. So legalizing same-sex marriage stops the spread of sexually transmitted infections, which they claim to be all for stopping the spread of those things.
This is all good. I fail to see a problem here.
Unless you're one of those people who's like, oh, the gays deserve to have the AIDS because they're gay, so we should do things to make them have more AIDS. You know, like Mike Pence would do in Indiana when he was in charge of that sort of shit there. Same-sex households also experienced higher rates of home ownership and higher earnings, and they adopted more children. So, like, yeah, it's good stuff all around. There was a drop, they also found there was a drop in sexual orientation motivated hate crimes and employment discrimination against LGBTQ plus individuals, as well as no negative changes in public opinion towards same-sex couples. I feel like if you specify trans people, that will have a different result, but that's for different reasons. That's for Chris Rufo reasons. Yeah, that's because they're doing all the same shit that with trans people now as they were doing with gay people in the 60s. It was like, won't somebody think of the children? It's like, yeah. Well, if you let the trans kids just be trans, then that lowers their suicide rate. That's a good thing, is it not? So just let them be trans.
I just think Republicans should probably stop thinking about children, honestly.
I do not disagree.
For Tennessee reasons.
Sure. I don't know specifically what that's about, but I can guess.
Because Tennessee was the one that tried to make a special second kind of marriage that included children.
10VP says, my uncle tried to pull me into some hate my wife jokes and I just gush and brag on her. She's great. Yeah, absolutely. That's where I'm at too. Cause like there are times when, like I kind of have this thing where I'm like, the idea of her being gone, me getting the house myself is like exciting at first. And then as soon as it actually happens, like, well, what do I want to do with myself? Well, I kind of wish she was here so I could spend time with her. Because
Yeah.
I like doing that. Like, okay, well, I guess I'll figure something out to do by myself. I suppose I could play some video games. Because that's something she doesn't really do with me. But I also don't really do that all that much myself. So, yeah. I don't get the whole hate my wife jokes thing. Like,
I don't either. I feel like if you don't like your partner, leave them.
yeah, that's like breaking up is fine. I wish there was not a social stigma to breaking up. It's like if you don't, yeah, don't give me that look. I'm not talking about me breaking up with you right now. We love each other. No, I don't think there should be a stigma with that because like you shouldn't feel ashamed to tell your friends and family that like, oh yeah, no, we turns out we weren't really compatible, so we're parting ways. That should be fine because that's best for everybody. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't things that like if there are difficulties in a relationship, you can work it through. Like we have had our difficulties in our relationship. Like I know when we were doing our couples stream thing, before we kind of put that on hiatus so she could focus on her school. We were always talking about like, yeah, we never really fought because we would just like talk it out. We have had a fight since then, but we still ended up just talking it out.
Because you're functional human beings.
Yeah. And like, not all the issues are solved. We're still dealing with some pretty difficult shit, but like, we're doing it together and we want to help each other. And like
Conflict is
if either of us didn't feel that way, then be like, then it's okay to break up. So
conflict is okay in relationships, and recognizing that is a healthy thing. And
also
think more
recognizing when
people
you're just
need to
not
talk about that.
compatible is okay. And like the whole idea of like staying together for the kids, like we got to stay together, and then once all the kids turn 18, we'll break up. It's like, no, you are creating a toxic home environment for the kids.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, breaking up might be more difficult when there are kids involved, but sometimes that would actually be best for the kids. And I say that like we have one kid in particular who is likely trans, whose father is anti-trans, and has actually told the child, I am going to withhold certain aspects of fatherly affection unless you have the gender identity that I prefer, even when you're not with me.
Then he's a piece of shit.
I am aware of that. And yet that is a source of extreme frustration for us, especially because the other child feels the need to earn his validation and love. So the other child who is not trans will tell on the trans child, be like, oh, no, that child was being a girl.
Oh, God fucking damn it.
So,
really?
Yeah. So it's a bit of a nightmare of a situation. And I fucking hate it. And she fucking hates it. But like, if we were not on the same page, the last thing the kids need is another area of conflict in there. So like, it'd be best for the kids if we were on the same page there. So like, if we weren't, breaking up might be okay. But like, we are on the same page, and the best we can do is hope that the kids know that like the kids will recognize that like our place is where they are safe and can be who they are. And like, even if their father gets under their skin and is like, oh no, we're like, I'm a boy now instead of a girl. It's like, okay, then we'll treat you as a boy until you tell us otherwise. And we'll still let them lead that. Cause like, that's the thing. Like all these anti-trans people, they try and paint the picture of like, we're trying to push them to be trans. But like, no, I want these kids to have a good relationship with their father because that would be best for them. But, so if they come back and be like, oh no, I'm not trans because that's what dad wants. Be like, okay, we'll let you make that choice. But like, if you change your mind later, we'll still be here for you. And long-term, they'll know which parents were on their side.
Yeah, they'll be able to figure that out in time.
Yeah. Anyway,
Still a fucked up situation.
before I accidentally say things that will get me in trouble,
Yeah.
which I don't think I've done yet, but there have been a couple streams where I've cut some things out.
Nixie Chan, thank you so much for the raid. How was your stream?
Yay, raid!
The stream sponsored by... No, not really.
Nobody ever raids me. But that's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's... Nobody knows. Nobody knows who I am on Twitch. I got my 18 viewers. I'm happy. Yeah, no, I'm primarily a YouTube guy, so raids aren't really a thing on YouTube.
And you've got a fuck ton of people watching over on YouTube right now.
I do.
Not even
Like
gonna lie.
155. That's not bad. That's pretty
That's
good.
incredibly good.
That's better than my main channel usually gets. So like, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, you are doing fantastic on the YouTube end.
That was not meant as a complaint. It's just kind of a like old man doesn't understand the Twitch. I'm here because I have to be. But the 18 of you who watch on Twitch, I appreciate you.
I am in the opposite. I am now at 14 people watching on my live channel and 70 something watching on Twitch because I have not been able to keep my streaming up the way I'm supposed to. That is an entirely on me thing.
Anyway, so yeah, that's the end of this article. So we can move on. Fennec says, "Hi friends," which I assume is directed at the people that just showed up in your thing.
I would hope so. Maybe
Nefarious
possibly.
Name of Doom says, "Yay, Daddy likes us." I like all my viewers. If you actually like come here and want to hear what I have to say when I'm 3 beers in, I appreciate it.
You're a cool person.
All right, shall we do some tweets if I can?
I
Find
think so. I think a tweet or two is okay. Oh God, we're beginning with AIG.
Well, I mean, they start with A. So alphabetically speaking, they come first. And since YouTube did that upgrade where they supposedly it's for increased privacy, where they like restricted what third-party extensions can do. But in practice, it just basically limits what ad blocks can do on YouTube. So like it's just them being selfish, but they're trying to present it as we're trying to increase privacy. I used to have an extension that it would just like all of my all of the images from a certain folder on a Google Drive would just go into a slideshow, and like each image is its own slide. And it was one of those like, well, if you pay us, we'll put it in alphabetical order for you. But if you don't pay us, we'll just do it randomly. And it's like, okay, fine, whatever. I'll just deal with the random shit. I appreciate it. It's still fine. But the latest Google update or whatever has broken that extension, so it doesn't work anymore. So now I have to put them in manually. But as a result of that, they're in alphabetical order now. So we start with AIG.
Fair enough.
So blame Google. But they say the decline of the influence of Christianity in the West is a direct result of divorcing Christianity from the objective reality of who Jesus is, what he accomplished, and his word. So
I thought the decline of Christianity had more to do with the fact that they no longer crush people's testicles for denying the church.
I mean, so if we take this tweet at face value, the best we can do as far as objective reality of who Jesus is, what he accomplished, and his word is that he was a guy who existed and was crucified. And even that is a little bit dubious. So, yeah. Nothing special there. Romans crucified a lot of guys who existed.
Are you sure they existed, though?
Yeah, I mean, a fair few of them. I was actually at Walmart the other day, and I was tempted to take a picture of they had a bunch of shirts lined up against the wall that were like in the T pose. And it just, like, when I saw it, my first thought was the Appian Way. That's the Appian Way. I decided not to take a picture of it, though. Instead, I opted to take a picture of underwear that advertised a special pouch for your testicles to send that to my partner. Because I thought that was funny.
It's the test pouch.
The test pouch, yep. 10 VIP says the Romans weren't dominant. Yes, they were. Oh, that's why I can't see some of them. My chat is set to top chat for some reason instead of live chat. There we go. There we go. Sorry, 10VP. Apparently you weren't top chat, but you are live chat. So there we go.
YouTube 101.
I changed that earlier, and I have not changed this window since then. So it like automatically refreshed it into top chat. It's like I don't get that. Fuck you, YouTube. You suck.
Okay, Charles says, what's the point of top chat? So if you are a streamer who has regularly, say, 400 or 500 viewers at a time, you can
explain that. I'm going pee.
Cool. But if you're a streamer who regularly has like 400 or 500 viewers at a time, top chat actually is better in a lot of ways, because when people spam you, you don't have to deal with it if you are using top chat. It's mainly for that. It protects you from spam. That's the primary reason it's there. But yeah. Axo says just don't have balls. Axo, that doesn't work for everybody. That works for like you. And yeah, that's about it. Just you. Miona says, I just had a brilliant idea. I'd totally buy it. You guys should do Nekosaurus / Rhino anime waifu beach scene t-shirt. You could totally split the revenue. So there actually is a beach scene thing of our characters already that Pernia did. And we can try. Like, there's no reason we couldn't give it a shot, but I don't think it's going to be as successful as you think. Just from experience. That's all. It says drinky glug glug. Fine, I'll do a glug glug drink. I'll do that. That is a thing that I can manage to a degree, probably. To a degree. I should probably look at the watering hole chat, right? That'd be a good thing for me to do. But I need to actually switch it from top chat to live chat over there too. Or YouTube is just not going to let me see that chat no matter what I do. That's cool. I adore when YouTube doesn't work. It's my favorite. It is my absolute favorite. I've refreshed that page now and it's not doing anything. God, YouTube is such a functional website. Also, isn't it cool how Rhino left a drop-down menu the entire time? That's hilarious. We just have drop-down menu, Rhino. Hey, look, the drop-down menu's gone. That's so cool. Well, welcome back to your own stream, buddy. I can't hear anything you're saying.
That's because I was smart and I muted myself when I left.
You don't want us to hear you frying chicken in your toilet? I just wasn't smart enough to unmute when I came back. No, as to top chat versus live chat, so I have 4 chat windows open. So there's one that is the restream. All of the chat messages go there. And then I have the social stream, which is the tool that I use to highlight chat on Twitch. And then there's the actual Twitch chat, and then there's a window with the YouTube chat, which thanks to a Firefox extension, I can also highlight things through that one, so I don't need a 5th window open. So I will read the chat through the restream one because that's all of the chat messages combined together into one place, so it's easier for me to figure it out. But then when there's one that I want to highlight, I have to go find it in one of the other windows. And so when I have the YouTube chat set to top chat instead of live chat, sometimes it's not there and I just get confused. And if I knew how it determined what made a top chat versus a live chat, then I might be comfortable leaving it on top chat and just ignoring the ones that don't make it there. But that's entirely fair.
I don't know how it makes that determination.
I don't know how it filters it either. I really don't. But you know,
yeah, and there have been so many things that like I've wanted to highlight, and then it's like, oh no, it's just not available in my chat window because I forgot to change it to live chat. It was like,
doesn't it usually
it's not very good at figuring out
default?
what's chat. Yeah, it defaults to top chat for me.
Huh.
Axo says, Rhino asked Cirrus about being an attorney. Were you talking about being an attorney when I was emptying my bladder?
Well, no, I wasn't. But Axo found a an attorney at law that's literally just called like Cirrus and Attorneys, and was like, "Is this you?" Like, no, it's not me. But
Are you sure?
I'm fairly certain it's not me.
Donald Jaramillo says, T-pose shirts. Always look on the bright side
Side
of
of
life.
life.
Come on, you gotta whistle. Whistle, Cirrus.
I refuse to do that into a microphone because you are my friend.
So are you saying that I'm not a good friend since I just whistled at you?
I couldn't hear it because thankfully your microphone is a good friend to me. But yes, actually, generally, if you whistled into a microphone and I caught it, that would be ear-splittingly painful.
I do purposely like move back from the microphone when I do it. Okay, shall we move on to the second tweet of the night?
Sure, why not?
I usually do 7. I've got 10 tonight. So let's go. Benjamin Shetler.
Oh, this
Benny
guy
Shetz
again.
Benny Shetz. He's Benny Shetz forever in my head. DEI is evil for the same reason the Nazi racists were evil.
What? So we want to make sure that disenfranchised people get hired on at places.
So the
and
gay
that's the same.
the
as the
gay people
Holocaust.
that the Nazis would have sent to concentration camps are Nazis.
Yeah.
For not wanting to be discriminated against for being gay. Nationalism without morality is as tyrannicalism. It is as tyrannical as globalism. Now,
Globalism is just Jews.
yeah,
That's
I was
all
gonna
that
I was gonna say like from this guy, anytime you hear globalism, just substitute it with the Jews.
Like
That's what he means.
Fucking. This is one of the reasons why Alex Jones gets so much heat from people on the left. I mean, obviously, because he says all kinds of insane, dumbass shit is the primary reason.
Yep.
But for people who have been following like dog whistles for a long time,
Globalist.
recognizing that anytime
Globalist is
somebody
the
says
easiest
globalist,
one.
it just means Jews.
It's the easiest one to recognize. The globalists are the Jews. That's what they mean.
You don't understand. The globalists, they're watching me. They're gonna take my show down. You need to buy gold and these supplements that are definitely not sugar pills. Buy them now. You're gonna piss out half of it, but it's fine.
No, they're also soy pills. He literally
Buy
sells soy
Brain Force.
as he complains that you're a soy boy for having too much soy.
Buy Brain Force.
It's only when you can value individuals as creations of God for whom Jesus died that you can fully understand what it means to be Christian.
I fully understand what it means to be Christian because I was a Christian for 18 years.
Yeah, but you weren't a true
I'm sorry.
Christian, though.
Yeah, and I definitely
I mean, like,
have sugar
I
in
was
my
a Christian
porridge.
for like 25, 26 years, whatever it was. But sure, I wasn't a true Christian either. Because true Christians never leave the faith because they had a personal experience with Jesus Christ. And after that, how could you possibly leave the faith?
I love
Yay, Romans 120.
I love everything about the world, and nothing about it depresses me at all.
I'm going to put you back on my head.
Thanks.
Nobody redeemed it, but I just feel like I
Is
need to have a
Benjamin
Circe
going to
on my
become another norm around these parts? Because
head. He might.
I
He
feel
might
like-
replace Wendell. Not entirely. I have a Wendell coming up too, but
I don't think he can
He's-
replace Wendell. He's a different. Hello.
he is
It's
just
like-
as ridiculous as Wendell.
It's like when you like chicken wings, right? And you've got some like Asian zingy wings and they taste really good. And then you've got some buffalo wings and those also taste really good. You don't replace one with the other. You have a rotation of both of them.
So I know I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but I'm
Well-
doing it on purpose because I find it funny. But Death Sheed gave 101 bits. So thank you for that, Death Sheed.
Fuck yeah.
I know it's Death's Head, but Death Sheed I like. So that's how I'm saying it. Then Donald Harmio says Walmart sells New York rye steak instead of Jewish rye. Yeah. Those New York globalists. Wait, someone's saying mods up. Do I have a troll in my chat? Sorry, excuse me. Taku Senpai says mods up.
How about valuing all people for being people? Nova Saber, you do value all people for being people. That's what. So DEI doesn't disvalue somebody for being like white or some shit. Are you an idiot? Like, I don't value you personally, but
Am I missing? Oh yeah, Nova Saber said, "How about valuing all people for being people?" Yeah, no, that's. So the thing is with DEI, it's recognizing that, statistically speaking, a black person is less likely to get a job just because they're black. So when you are hiring someone, if people have approximately equal qualifications, hiring the black person is doing a little bit to kind of counteract the fact that they are less likely to be hired just because of the color of their skin. That does not harm white people, because white people are still at an advantage in the system.
in fact, actually, econofact.org has an entire article about how potential employers are less likely to call black applicants who have the same or even better credentials as white applicants.
I have a partner who is mixed race, and her first name is very black sounding, but her middle name is Suzanne, which is like the whitest of white names.
So she'll put Suzanne
so
on...
she has found that she gets more callbacks when she puts Suzanne on her resume instead of her actual name. And then she has this habit of referring to herself in the third person, so she usually like screws it up and starts talking about herself in the first person, like with her actual name, and then they'll be like, "Oh, well, I thought your name was Suzanne." I'm like, no, I just put that there because I was afraid you were racist. Like, it's not what she says, but like, yeah, no, she has difficulty with that because of her name. Because it sounds
Nova
black.
Nova Saber says, no, I was responding to the last part of the tweet. Shetler said to value people because of the Jesus stuff.
Okay.
And I was agreeing with that. Okay.
Sure.
So
that's
fair.
That's still the points we made are still valid points, but yeah, it's fair.
I mean, to be fair, I called Nova an idiot.
I know,
that's
and
not a valid
I
point now.
I was a little bit concerned about that because I'm pretty sure, like, I remember Nova Saber being around, and I feel like they're not an idiot. So
yeah, that was entirely on me. My apologies. That is I have that knee-jerk reaction because I'm so used to somebody like coming into my chat and going, well, it's time for me to be the idiot today.
Yeah, that's Falcon. Is Falcon kicking around today?
Not today.
Okay. Fusel says, I know Heidi isn't her real first name, but I love the idea of Heidi being a black name over there. Heidi Klum is, I don't think, I think she's mixed race.
Is she?
Well, she's at least partly black, if not mostly. But that, like, Heidi Klum is the reason that her name is Heidi, because I was like, oh no, I had a huge crush on Heidi Klum. I was like, oh, well, then we should just call your partner Heidi. Heidi Klum is white? Really?
Yeah.
Fennec is saying that? Okay, now I need to... Now I'm going to feel... No, I can't do that on this window. See how easy that was to not accidentally do things and have it show up on stream?
You did it. I'm so proud of you.
What race is Heidi Klum?
God, that sounds so yikesy to type into a search
It
bar.
does. German American. Okay, so she's German. Yeah. Okay. Never mind then. I didn't know that. She's been quite tan in a lot of the pictures that I saw as a child.
Yeah. You know what? I can't even say anything. I did the exact same thing. I think actually, like, back when Yahoo search was the first thing that, like, my browser's default for everything on the front, I remember like Heidi Klum coming up in it, and I remember being 13. So you do the math.
Yeah, I don't remember how old I was. I just remember that it was Heidi Klum and Jessica Alba. Anyway, moving on. Kevin Sorbo
Hey, K-Swords! Hi!
says, my latest movie is a must-watch for everybody. Had a wonder time, I think he means wonderful, time working with my good buddy Dennis Quaid on the Reagan film coming out soon. The left is going to hate this.
If you're doing a movie just because you think that the left will hate it, maybe you shouldn't be doing that movie.
Yes.
Maybe you're doing movies not for artistic reasons anymore, but just to piss off the right people, and that's not...
Well, so my question
It's
is, like,
pathetic.
are we going to hate it because it's a bad movie, which is the reason we normally hate Kevin Sorbo movies? And by when I say hate, I mean, like, I fucking love
Be
it.
disappointed?
No, I fucking love it because, like, have you seen the fucking clip of Kevin Sorbo trying to put on an accent in the Revelation Road series?
No.
Oh my god, it's so hilarious. And like he's trying to do an Australian accent, but he's just so bad at it. They actually wrote a scene into the movie where he like drops the accent for one guy, like for the main character, and the main character has to turn to him and be like, "What happened to your accent?" And be like, "Oh, well, I was a drama coach back before the apocalypse happened, and so like having an accent adds an air of mystery." And so, like they actually had to write in a scene explaining why he was
They
so
had to
bad as
fix
his
his-
accent.
They had to fix Kevin Sorbo.
Oh, it was so fucking good. It's a David Ayer White movie. It's available for free on YouTube. I think it's Revelation Road 3 is where it mostly happens, because like it's not a series that's worth watching. It's mostly just fucking boring because David Ayer White doesn't know how to do fight choreography. It's like an old man being like, I wish I was John Wick. So like he can't throw a single punch without 5 cuts. And it's amazing. But yeah, no, and like at one point he's like trying to suggest that like he could get a good price for some woman up in the king's territories, and the way he says is like, the king's territories, and it's so out of place, and it's fucking hilarious, and I love it.
Oh, whoa. Why,
Jester Lord of
Jester?
Fools says, I'm the idiot in these chats.
I'm the Lord of Fools here because I willingly subject myself to this bullshit.
Yeah, no, yeah, but now I'm distracted by wanting to find Kevin Sorbo on YouTube, so just a second.
Oh. Okay, that's fair. We'll just keep on saying words then, over and over, and eventually something will happen.
It's the Black Rider, Revelation Road, and it opens with a noose.
Oh. That feels weird these days, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like that's the opening shot. Oh,
2 years after the even Wolf Point Mountain.
I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this.
No, I hear nothing.
No business. Where I'm from.
Can you hear it?
Nope.
Okay, well.
I like how Stratahawk has you clocked. Hyperfixation, go!
Shut up.
No.
Chat mic gets... Yeah, you should be getting the system. You should be getting system sounds.
Should be able to, but I'm not.
Well, maybe it's just quiet.
Otaku even says muted. They don't hear anything at all.
My little poppy audio thingies in OBS suggest otherwise.
It.
I thought I told you not to follow me.
You can't hear
Here
that?
we go.
You,
I heard. I thought I told you not to follow me.
Okay. So you can hear it.
So it's the volume's too low.
But like, I don't know. Look at his fucking costume.
Is he the bald one?
No. That's not Kevin Sorbo. That's Kevin Sorbo.
Wait, what the fuck? Why is he dressed like an out of touch pimp?
Because that's what he is.
It's no sign of the rider or Sophia.
What do you want?
The owner of this vehicle.
Bridge.
Okay.
And
I don't
that's
remember
worth
being this
fighting
far in. Did I miss it? Oh, no. They're there. See, look, he just punches him in the face once, and there are 3 cuts.
fucking.
I forgot how bad this was. And it's on YouTube, so I probably watched it on 2x speed, so I was like a little bit more impressed with it.
Wait. I want to see this.
I want to see this.
I want to say this.
What's there to see? They're not doing anything.
They're doing their best, and that is more than some.
He couldn't even swing it over his head with him ducking without there being a cut in the middle of the swing.
Yeah, no, the fight choreography is fucking awful.
Hey! Why do you have to go bust
Here
up
we
my
go.
party?
Here we
huh?
go.
I had to put a bullet in you.
What's with that gun?
I had to put a bullet in
Did you see the gun though? It was like a one of those like old timey
It was like
pirate
an old.
guns.
It was a flintlock.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah, it's a flintlock pistol with 2 shots.
my car. Find his keepers, man. You want it? You have to trade.
It was stolen. I
You
don't have
have to
anything
trade.
What you do?
Wait, listen,
Oh,
this
yes,
is it. This is
you
it.
do. I've had my eye on this one. Yeah. I could get a very good price for out west in the King's territories.
I'm not.
Like what is with that accent?
Territories.
Get a very good price for her out in the king's territories.
The king's territories.
And then okay. So now we gotta. Oh,
This is depressing.
It's so much fun to watch. This is
So
my
bargain
This
bin
is one of my
Chuck
favorite
Norris.
movies. This is one of my favorite movies just because of how stupid this is.
Okay, so that the face you have her frozen on, that's the face you see in porn.
I
The
mean,
first time she sees the dick.
the
every
acting,
time.
the acting is about the same. Okay.
So, what do you think of the competition? Can you take it?
Where's your accent?
It's just for show. It's pretty good though, right?
Yeah, I guess.
No, it's good.
So like,
Yeah, I guess.
he actually had to write a thing in where it's like, yeah, no, my accent's good, right? It's good, right? I suppose.
Do you
No,
like
no,
my
it's good.
accent?
It's good.
I was the
Do you
drama
like
coach at
my
St. Charles
accent?
Community College.
He was the drama coach at a community college, so he had an accent. It's like, oh my god, mwah! Like, this is Kevin Sorbo. This is his acting chops. Where the fuck are the tweets? There we go, tweets. My latest movie is a must-watch. So, like, the left is going to hate this. Are we going to hate this because you just suck at acting? Or are we going to hate it because, like, you actually made good points that tore down the left or whatever the fuck?
Look, I just have to say,
Myonin says you're wrong. By comparison, porno acting is Oscar worthy. You're not wrong.
wow. When I rub it, I pull the skin off.
My daddy told me how to stop pulling the skin off by using my mouth.
By using someone else's mouth.
That
Would you show
okay,
me?
okay, that actually made it into an outtake of one of my actual videos, like my main channel videos. I had, it was a hot mic moment. The camera wasn't rolling, but the microphone was, and I forget how it came up, but my partner said something, and I responded with that line, and she responded with the next line in the actual thing. I'm like, okay, I have to put this in the outtakes now, but like the people who haven't seen that thing are going to be very confused by this. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, anyway, Ronald Reagan. So fun fact about Ronald Reagan, towards the end of his presidency, his dementia was so bad that his wife was basically making all the policy decisions for him on the advice of her astrologer. So, are we going to hate it because that's what you point out? And we all then understand how shitty Ronald Reagan actually was?
No, we're just gonna hate it because, let's be honest, it's a Kevin Sorbo movie.
Yeah, but let's be real here. Kevin Sorbo was in a movie with David fucking A.R. White, and David A.R. White had to take some time out of the movie to look at Kevin Sorbo in the eye and be like, really? That's the fucking accent you're doing? What's wrong with you? David A.R. White got to look down on Kevin Sorbo for acting abilities.
It's not very hard.
Also,
The
David A.R.
bar
White
is low.
Also, David A.R. White spent most of his career making movies about how divorce is bad, and then he got divorced. So, there's that.
Divorce is bad, okay, but also,
Yeah.
we're just gonna.
I mean, Andrea Logan White got half his money, so good for her.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, she was always his love interest in any movie that they were both in together, and the chemistry was just not there. So it tracks.
We had to
for
force
people who are avid viewers of the A.R. White filmography, such as myself. The divorce was not a surprise.
That's
was-
not a sentence I've ever heard, by the way.
You're welcome.
The A.R. White filmography.
I love bad movies. What can I say? And Christian movies are just always bad. 100% of the time. Okay, anyway.
Christ.
Mo Johnson's left boot says, "This has very serious repercussions for your reputation. How can we now trust you to not equate gender-critical beliefs with transphobia?"
But gender critical beliefs are transphobia.
Yeah, I forget what this was in response to, and it doesn't fucking matter, because being gender-critical is to be transphobic.
Like they're the same
Like,
thing.
definitionally. That's what
Corporate
it is.
wants you to see the difference between these pictures. They are the same picture.
Same picture. Moving on. So this to take it back to one of the articles that we already covered. This is actually where I found that article from.
The art of purpose.
The art of purpose.
Aw.
It says, desecrating the Eucharist on purpose should be a serious crime that carries a life sentence.
What?
Agree or
But
disagree?
Why?
Because the lady that
It's
the priest
bread!
because the lady that the priest bit deserved to be bit by the priest and should be sent to prison for
It's
squishing some
Fucking
crackers.
Bread. It's
It's
bread,
crackers.
You
It doesn't rise to
insane-
the level of bread, Cirrus. Stop
Look,
promoting the Eucharist. It's bland
It's-
crackers.
It's okay to harm cracker. I mean, hold on, wait, no, I'm not allowed to say that one on Twitch.
You're not allowed to say it's okay to harm crackers?
Apparently.
Eucharist crackers are bland compared to the crackers that my diabetic partner's allowed to eat.
So we got to the topic title only in an hour and a half. A new
Ah.
record.
No, there was a whole news article on this.
We
It was
did
the second
before.
article after the Bluey one that we didn't really cover that much.
It said blasphemy should be a civil crime. Apparently.
No, it shouldn't. Fuck. If God can't protect himself from some blasphemy or desecrating the Eucharist, then that's on him. That's not on us.
I'll desecrate Christ's Eucharist.
I
Just
will.
sound sexual.
No, you know what? I will totally like if I can get my hands on some actual blessed Eucharist, like not the ones that you can get on Amazon, but ones that have actually been blessed by a priest. I will happily shove those things up my anus, and I will do it on camera for OnlyFans.
I don't think the world needs this.
I think it does. Somebody find a way for me to get a hold of actual blessed Eucharist that I can do that with. And I will happily do that.
I don't think the world is in need of that.
That's Dark Excalibur says Rhino's first OnlyFans video. Yeah, that'll be my first and only video, is me shoving Eucharist up my ass. Shoving the body of Christ up his ass. I just want Christ to come inside me, okay? That's all I want.
Jesus in my butt.
That's all I want. People keep telling me I have a God-shaped hole in my heart.
That's a God-shaped hole in my ass.
Hey, if you go back to the original Hebrew, every time it says heart, it actually means bowels. My bowels have been moved for thee. So, like, yes, I have a God-shaped hole in my bowels. I am trying to fill it. So find me some blessed Eucharist, and I will make an OnlyFans account.
My God. There's a God-shaped hole in my bunghole.
Otaku Senpai asked, would that be counted as performance art? Anything is performance art. Senshini says, don't shove things into your heart. No, but you can shove things into your bowels. And that can be fun sometimes.
I can shove things wherever
And
the fuck
Jesus
I
said he
want.
wants
You're
to
not
come
my
inside
mom.
me. Jesus said he wants to come inside me, so this is on him. I'm just taking him at his word. Okay? And Rob says, this is logical argument for God. Says, premise 1, if God doesn't exist, neither does morality. Okay, depends what you mean by morality. I'm going to assume he means either objective or absolute morality, in which case I would say, sure, why not? I don't see why God's existence would then definitionally make morality exist in that sense.
I don't see how either.
But just assuming that that would be the case, sure, I'll grant that. 2, if morality doesn't exist, then I can't be moral. Okay. So this is where I would need
Pokemon don't exist, but I can be a Pokemon trainer because that's a title given to anybody who plays the fucking video games.
Yeah, but I could also, like, this is where I would need to distinguish between absolute and objective morality and morality as we see it as human beings who, like, live in the world and have to function with other human beings that also live in the world. So, like, we can be moral in the sense that we are adhering to a social contract. If that's how we're defining morality, then yes, you can be moral in that sense. Can you be moral in the sense of having objective morality or absolute morality? No, because that doesn't exist. Sure, fine. 3, the atheists act like morality does exist. No, we don't. We act like a social contract exists.
We just kind of act.
Yeah.
Like we don't want other people to beat the shit out of us. So we act like people who are reasonable.
That's the social contract. Or if you don't like the social contract, empathy. I know what it would be like to have the shit beaten out of me. Therefore, I don't beat the shit out of other people because I wouldn't like that. So I can understand that they wouldn't like that. Empathy.
Yeah, it's kind of easy. It isn't a very difficult concept to wrestle with.
4, the meme is circular absurdity. I don't know. This wasn't a response to anything, so I don't know what meme they're talking about. 5, no one is more moral than God. Counterpoint, I've never committed or commanded anyone to commit genocide.
So you are more moral than God.
I have actively condemned anyone who supports the genocide that the Israelis are committing against Palestinians right now. I also condemn Hamas for wanting to commit genocide against Israel. There's a severe power imbalance there, though, that makes one side way worse than the other. And spoiler, it ain't Hamas. Like, no, you shouldn't genocide people for being Jewish. But, like, when the only state in the world that is officially Jewish wants to genocide you and actively take steps toward that end goal, wanting to protect yourself from that seems reasonable by comparison.
Yeah.
Like, again, I'm not condoning Hamas
to protect yourself.
I'm not condoning Hamas, but, like, Palestine is a legitimate state, like, more legitimate than Israel, in my opinion. So
Palestine's an apartheid state.
Yeah, I know, but like them wanting to protect themselves, like, yeah, no, I don't think you should genocide the Israelis or Jewish people in general. But, like, they want to genocide you and you want to protect yourself. Like, yeah, I can understand why turning to terrorism would be appealing at that point. Like, I get it. But at the same time, like, no, don't put kids in danger. But also, Israel, don't bomb fucking hospitals or refugee camps. Like, I don't know.
Why can't we bomb hospitals? It's our favorite.
Both sides fucking suck ass.
It's our favorite thing to blow up the Rafah refugee camps, and also after people move away from those tent camps and go to another place we've told them to escape to, it's our favorite thing to fire a tank round at that.
Oh, but oops, that was a mistake. We're going to conduct an internal investigation, and look at that.
We did nothing wrong.
The Israeli army found that the Israeli army did nothing wrong. Yeah, no, it's a fucking shitty situation that would be made better if Israel would just stop being genocidal. Just stop it. Like, they are the aggressors in this situation. Like, yeah, October 7th sucked, but like, what about October 8th? What about October 9th? What about October 10th? What about October 6th? What about October 5th? Like, they've been killing kids in Palestine for basically as long as I can remember.
Since the
Like,
40s or 50s.
yeah, no, like, fuck them. Like, I don't know.
An internal
It's-
investigation in the heart and bowels.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm more moral than God because I don't condone genocide no matter who's doing it. 6, morality exists, therefore so does God. No, you didn't demonstrate that morality exists. You just asserted it. Like, morality in the sense of objective or absolute? No, you didn't demonstrate that. You asserted it. It's
You
still-
said it is the case. That doesn't
you-
make it the case.
It feels like that opinion is the correct one to you. Therefore, you think it is true. And then 7, conclusion, God isn't immoral. Oh, I thought this was... Okay, no, I thought this was an argument for God when I took the screenshot. But no, apparently it's just an argument that God is not immoral.
Nope, he is perfectly
God
fine.
exists as a sub-argument of the argument. It's like, no, God's an immoral monster if he exists.
God good. God great. God is the best. Don't you know?
No, I don't know that because I
Oh,
think
well, let me
slavery
explain
sucks.
to you the ways
I
in
think
which
slavery
that is
and
the case.
genocide suck. And God doesn't. So, yeah, I'm more moral than God. So, Rob sucks. Dr. Frank Turek says, one of the arguments we have for God's existence is evil itself, not because God is doing evil, but because he's the standard of good by which we don't even know what evil was. Which is not worded
What?
correctly. I think he means he's the standard of good without which we
Other-
wouldn't even know
Yeah,
what evil
otherwise
was.
we wouldn't know.
But like, when has Frank
The
Turek ever
fuck?
been good at that? But like, no. No, as we established in the last one, God's standard sucks when it comes to determining good and evil. Because he sometimes thinks genocide is okay. He sometimes thinks slavery is okay.
And I sometimes, all the time, think those things are bad.
Yeah.
So,
Rape is always bad. In God's views, rape is a property crime that can be solved with 50 shekels of silver and buying the rape victim. So like, yeah, no, I say that that's always bad.
I love Frank Turek. I love him so much. When he says words, they're usually stupid. And that's about
Usually?
it. There's, yeah, usually. 99.999% of the time is usually.
Okay, sure. Every now and then he says dinner was good tonight.
Yeah, and that's, that's fine. Saying that is fine,
Yeah.
comparatively speaking.
Yeah, we will say that is correct. We have another Frank Turek coming up though. Is
Why are there two?
because he's Frank Turek.
No.
It says, if you think it's evil that God doesn't reveal himself to you more directly or more persuasively or in more ways, you're actually presupposing a standard that this God ought to do this. Well, where are you getting this ought from? From
logic.
No, from the book of First Peter, where God says that it is not, like, where the word of God says it is not his desire to have anyone end up in hell. I forget the exact wording. But like, he explicitly says, I don't wish anyone to go to hell. And so if he does not wish anyone to go to hell, he should reveal himself in ways that are more believable. So
But he won't do that.
But he doesn't do that. So like, where I get that ought from? An internal critique. By your own standard, by the standard that God sets forward in the Bible, if he wants me to believe, it's on him to provide me with that evidence. Otherwise, I'm not going to believe. And if he wants me to not go to hell, like he says he doesn't want me to go to hell, he's going to provide me with the evidence to keep me out of hell. Since he doesn't, he either does want me to go to hell, or the Bible is wrong about what God wants. So that's an internal critique. I don't need an absolute standard that actually exists. I just need to say, if your thing is true, this would also be true. And since it's not, your thing is not true.
But God definitely am real and definitely want you go to heaven, which is why he came into your room last night and gave you a cookie.
Was it an ookie cookie?
No, it was a mediocre cookie.
What if I wanted an ookie cookie?
And God's wants and your wants don't always align.
Cirrus, do you know what an ookie cookie is?
No, I don't.
Oh my god, you don't know ookie? How
Nope.
okay. Someone has to do a Venn diagram of the weird things that I know that you don't and that you know that I don't. Because I feel like this is one that you should know. Ookie Cookie is the game where you get a bunch of guys in a room that are totally straight and not gay that are masturbating over a cookie.
That's the bagel game
With a bagel? Ew. No, and the last one to come has to
ew?
the last one to come has to eat the cookie.
Yeah, that's the bagel game here.
No, I wouldn't be able to do that with a bagel.
Yeah, you
The
would.
the cookies at least got the sugar to mask the
flavor. It
flavor.
looks like a Krispy Kreme donut.
Okay. Okay, so at least we know the same game. We just don't have the same name for it. What do you call it?
The bagel game.
Just the bagel game?
The bagel game.
Come on, Ookie Cookie is just so much more fun to say. Fennec chose a great time to say, FYI, you can email that to news@viceround.com and VR might cover it. We got something about Ookie Cookies in the news?
What?
I don't know. I don't know what that was responding to, but that was good timing.
Cathode ray tube. Why are cis men like this? Why does this exist?
So this is the thing that because I am a weird person apparently, I didn't have the normal cis man experience or whatever. So like my partner told me apparently it is normal for like cis straight guys to just like compare their penises to each other, like just whip them out and be like, hey, this is my dick, what's yours look like, or whatever.
My daddy showed me.
Yeah, like I'm just like, that sounds very gay. Why would you want to see another person's dick unless you want to see another person's dick? But apparently that's something that straight guys do all the time. I'm just like, how do they call themselves straight if they are interested in seeing each other's dicks? Like, maybe it's not all the way gay if you're not interested in doing anything with it, but if you want to see it, that makes you at least a little gay. But like, I don't know. Apparently that's the thing that is normal for straight cis guys. And I just was completely oblivious to that because apparently I'm not one of those. Yeah, Hitchmeister59 says, I was never straight enough to want to see my friends' dicks. Yeah, no, same with me. I don't know. Like, I'm not again. Like, if you want to play Ookie Cookie with your friends, go ahead and play Ookie Cookie with your friends. But don't pretend it's a straight thing to do.
It's the straightest thing in the world.
Less than Lucid says it's on par with hot
Prove
dogging.
you're straight by whipping out your.
It's on par with hot dogging. It's not gay unless the penis goes in the butthole. So eating each other's cum is perfectly straight.
Yeah.
As long as the penis doesn't penetrate the ass. Oh, okay. Wendell. I apologize for the quality on this one. I'm not sure why it went down so much. But it's Wendell, so that's why it went down, because it's Wendell. So Wendell says, many atheists argue that they don't believe in God because of the presence of evil in the world. That's not quite hitting it, but sure.
It's not just that evil exists that we're concerned about. We're supposed to believe that an all good God is compatible with evil existing. That's the issue.
Yeah. Then he says, however, if God does not exist as they claim and evil does exist, then it follows that God is not responsible for evil since it exists independently of God.
What?
Okay, but if it exists independently of God, then that means that God is not necessary for good and evil. So the whole moral argument just goes out the window at this point. Then he says, therefore, one cannot use the existence of evil as an argument to disprove God's existence. Yeah, no, but if that's a valid argument, then using the moral argument also doesn't work for the same reason. And I'm okay making that concession. I can say that evil does not prove that God does not exist if you are willing to concede that morality does not prove that God does exist. Because, sure.
I love the internet. It gave us Wendell. And I really don't think the internet will ever survive Wendell.
I mean, Winger's up next.
Oh, God damn it.
I mean, I feel like Wendell's a little bit worse than Winger, but Winger's not much better than Wendell.
No, I think Winger's worse for one reason only, and that is that Winger actually has a massive audience.
Yeah,
Wendell
true.
has a Twitter following.
Wendell has a Twitter following of people that think he's hilarious.
Yeah. Whereas Mike Winger actually has a massive fucking audience.
Yeah. So Mike Winger says the strength of Christianity is in the shameless preaching of the gospel coupled with the lives of those who genuinely follow Jesus. Like, I feel like Christianity is on the decline. Donald Hermio says, assuming a tri-omni god is the problem. Which, that was in reference to Wendell. Yeah, no, if it's a tri-omni god, then none of that works. Yeah, no, Mike Winger says those who genuinely follow Jesus are the strength of Christianity. Like, Jesus said, judge not lest ye be judged. I don't see Winger doing that.
No.
I mean, he also said, sell your cloak to buy swords. So, I don't know why I'm getting so many fucking emails during the stream. And I think, yeah, my system is set up to go to the stream, so they've been hearing them all. What the fuck have my emails been about?
Your car's extended warranty.
No, this one is something about Nikki Haley. Oh no, somebody just sent me a news item. Probably for next week. So yeah, I will try to remember to, or, well, maybe I can mark it as unread. Mark as unread. There we go. I don't know what all the other shit was. But yeah. So Mike Winger's an idiot. Like, you guys shamelessly preach the gospel, but Christianity's on the decline in the United States. And it's not for lack of shameless gospel preachers.
You've got plenty of them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe we see all those internal fights between people like, oh, I don't know, Mike Winger and Benny Hinn.
And then we just kind of assume that, oh,
like, yeah,
we
if
have
there
to
was,
pick a lane.
If there was an all-powerful God behind one of these two people, then the other one just wouldn't exist. Or, like, would not be able to make the arguments that they're making. Like, there wouldn't be an argument to be had because, like, God would not have a charlatan like Winger / Benny Hinn speaking for them or pretending to speak for them. He would just not allow that to be a thing that happens.
And yet he does.
Since
so
it's a thing that
obviously...
happens, he doesn't exist. Boom.
At the very least, he doesn't endorse either of you.
I just sit at the back eating my popcorn going, bad guy fight, bad guy fight. And then, yeah, Donald Hermio says, when I hear Benny Hinn, I see Benny Hill. Yeah, no, I have also made that association, which, if you're not familiar, that's the kind of music, which I completely butchered it, but it's good enough.
Be good enough.
It's the Christian version of the Benny Hinn, or Benny Hill theme song. Yeah, so, yeah, that's the tweets for tonight. We're only an hour late. And
Hey, to be fair, that's entirely on me for being 5 minutes late.
That's on you for only being 2 minutes early.
Yes.
Yakety sax is what people are saying. No, that's not what. Yakety sax. There we go.
I'm gonna shill myself to your YouTube following now.
Sure, go for it.
I'm throwing my Twitch there because once Rhino is offline, I will still be streaming, and not only do I need to talk about Nick Fuentes doing the gay porn thing, which is fucking funny, but also I need to show you guys the strangest AI thing ever that's just wonderful.
You know what? While we're live, before we go, I don't know if I can edit that at this point. Because there is a thing on YouTube that's like, it's the equivalent of a raid, but it's not as easy to do. You have to have like all pre-planned out.
Oh yeah, I know the thing you're talking about.
So I was going to try and send my YouTube audience over to you, but I can't find where the thing happens. I think I have to like do that in advance, and I'm not sure if that would work if we're both streaming at the same time. But yeah, I'll raid you on Twitch so you can have my 19 people.
Colleen says, but yet not on YouTube. Oh, well, if you need it to be on my YouTube, then I am on YouTube as well.
Yeah, I do have Cirrus Live tagged in the title of the stream on YouTube, so if you click on that, that will take you to Cirrus's channel, where in theory Cirrus is live right now, unless I fucked something up or Cirrus fucked something up. That's a possibility too. It's more likely that I did it. But yeah, I will raid your channel with my 19 viewers on Twitch.
Yay!
After the credits. Got to roll the credits first. So as
Paige
always,
says Cirrus needs to redirect to. Why does YouTube make me do that? No, that's fucking
No,
stupid,
it's stupid.
Paige.
So I have been bad at raiding. I've been meaning to remember to raid channels at the end. It's not a Twitch thing. It's just my remembering thing. It's my ADHD. I don't remember to click the button that says raid channel at the end. YouTube, however, has this thing where you have to like pre-set it up in advance that when I am done streaming, I am going to send my viewers to this other stream that I know will be live when I am done streaming. So like, if you don't know how long your stream's going to go, and you don't know how long the person you want to send your viewers to stream is going to go, it doesn't work. Like, sure, me and Cirrus, I could probably remember to set that up, and it would actually be helpful to Cirrus, because you usually do stream after I'm done for a little while. So that probably would be a good thing for me to set up. But it just doesn't make sense the way they do it. Whereas on Twitch, it's just I click the raid channel button, then it pops up a list of like people that I follow that are currently streaming. You're like, which one do you want to raid? And Cirrus is going to be on the list. So I just click that one, and there we go.
Where do I even allow fucking...
Oh, it's in the global channel settings when you're at like the main analytics page.
So just channel settings. Is it in community? Is it in permissions?
I think it's in community. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've done. There's like 3 channels that are allowed.
All channels can redirect to my channel. Yay! That's a thing I have enabled now because YouTube. Why is that a thing that YouTube makes you enable? That doesn't make any sense.
Because they're YouTube. They're trying to be Twitch. In the same way that I'm
any of the good things Twitch does.
They're trying to be Twitch in the same way that I'm trying to be Twitch. They don't actually understand what the fuck is going on. They just know that it's a thing that exists on Twitch.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, but you're endearing.
YouTube is not. Yeah, I will grant you that.
It's like in comparison, one of these things is endearing and the other one, I don't have the crayons to explain how dumb it is.
I have a bent crayon video that I get to use in my video on Friday because Matt Powell brought up bent rock layers again, which is the creationist argument that's the equivalent of the jet fuel doesn't burn that hot. So with that teaser out of the way, as always, fuck off.